Itawamba Community College is now offering 3-day weekends. You can be one of the first to take advantage of a compact course schedule with a majority of classes offered Monday through Thursday. Let us customize your education to fit your needs. Become a part of the ICC family and apply today at apply.iccms.edu. ICC, the best start here.
My burger goes best with mustard.
Ketchup and mustard.
Grass-fed beef.
No, corn-fed.
On the grill.
Now, flat top.
Iceberg lettuce.
Nah, arugula. Jalapeno.
No way. Avocado, dude.
Medium rare.
Gotta be well done.
Brioche.
Sesame seeds.
American cheese.
Cheddar.
Can I have a turkey burger? What? Turkeys are for Thanksgiving, man. I like my burger with the Coke.
I'll agree to that.
Strictly with a Coke.
Only with the Coke.
Coke and a burger. Come on.
All right.
That's where you get the flavor.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we're here wrapping up the national anthem in the pregame show. So we'll come back right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, out to the ball game. Adam Gore, Jeremy Kennedy in the house this afternoon on the road in Boonville as ICC taking on Northeast. ICC comes in with a record of 24-5-1, 9-3 in conference play. Northeast at even 15-15, 5-9 inside conference play. And Adam Gore, Jeremy Kennedy. Jeremy joining us for the first time today. We do want to say a special hello to those that are watching here on Let's Go ICCTV.com, the Red Channel, as well as 95.1 The Farm, your hometown country station. Jeremy, ICC Northeast gets together. It's no stranger when these two teams get together, crazy things tend to happen.
Yeah, they always do. And, of course, you look at, obviously, the way this season has played out, ICC with a terrific campaign so far, currently sitting number 3 in the division behind Northwest and Hines. You look at Northeast, they're fighting for that playoff spot late. So it's really 2 big games for the Tigers. But if you're ICC, you come in here, you've got to have the right mindset. You've got big things on your mind, but you want to take care of business here. You're going to be facing the 2 best pitchers that Northeast has today, which tells you they are going all in to try and beat the Indians twice.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at today's Coca-Cola starting lineups being presented by the Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works. And let's go ahead and look at the Tigers. It's going to be leading things off. It's going to be Bryce Stanton. He's playing in center field. Left fielder will be Braxton Miller. Hayes Hansford will be in right field. Tyler Samaniego, is that correct? Samaniego is at first base. Anthony Lipsy will be the DH. Carter Roach will be at second base. Ramsey Ivy will be out at third base. Catching will be Thomas Stevens. And Simmons Sowell will be at shortstop. Pitching is going to be Jake Christa. And Jeremy, I know you got some of those numbers right there in front of you.
Yeah, looking at Christa this year, he's 5-2 with a 3.05 ERA. He's pitched 38 and a third innings this season, giving up 35 hits, 19 runs, 13 earned, 8 walks, 44 strikeouts, giving up 3 home runs, averaging 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he's obviously got great command. Indians are going to have to attack the fastball in the zone. If they do that, there's a chance there to put up some big runs.
Kyle Krieger will lead us off here for the Indians. Swings on the first pitch he sees, and that's going to be a fair ball. No, foul ball. Well, we're on a weird angle as we're down the third baseline. Is that First American National Bank opening pitch coming your way at 2:03. So that's a 2:03 First American National Bank opening pitch. Foul for a strike. And for those watching on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the red channel, you'll see what we're talking about. It's an awkward situation, so we're going to be trying to call this the best we can. 0-1 is the count now here to Kyle Krieger. Krieger, the La Tech signee, stands in, looks at that pitch low for a ball.
Talk about I mentioned attack the fastball. First pitch right in there, and he almost got himself a double down the left field line, hitting 304 on the season. A really nice table setter for the Indians, who've done a really good job not just manufacturing runs, but being able to obviously hit for some power as well.
There's a fly ball out to center field. It's going to be collected for the first out of the ball game, as that was out in center field. Stanton who reeled that one in. And we've got the northeast dugout below us, so we're going to have to watch our microphones from time to time. But, yeah, we don't have that external mic in case it does sound like we may not be in the ballpark. So now this is going to bring up Jackson Lancaster, the center fielder here, with 1 out and nobody on in the top of the first for the Indians. So Lancaster will dig in and takes that pitch high for a ball.
You look at ICC this year, hitting .318 as a team, on-base percentage of .429, and a slugging percentage of .452. The lineup obviously really scary. You look at Lancaster, who's had himself a terrific season, hitting .333 on the year, a home run, 24 RBIs, but a guy with a .423 on-base percentage, and that I think is the biggest key. You look at the way the Indians have hit the ball this year, but they've also done a nice job just getting on base, being efficient, and obviously with a .429 on-base percentage as a team, understand why they've had such a good year.
Absolutely. 1-2 is that Lancaster fouls that pitch back. Of course, in the sophomore showcase earlier in the year, Jackson Lancaster clocked in as the fastest player in the state when it comes to the 60. So the 1-2 pitch coming. Lancaster going to protect the plate. Jammed on this one. Popped up. Center fielder's going to go over a few steps to his left and squeeze it for out number 2. So good job there so far by Northeast. Two put-outs out there in center field.
Yeah, we talk about Krista and his ability to fill up the zone, and that's what you want to do. I mean, you think about it, obviously we always say 300 is a Hall of Famer, so if you're a pitcher, you look at it and say, well, 70% of the time I'm going to be successful. So pump it in the strike zone. There's no need to try to get too fancy. He's got a really nice strikeout-to-walk ratio. It's almost 6-1. And so you're talking about a guy that really likes to get in the strike zone. So as I said, if you're the Indians, you're going to get a lot of pitches to hit today off of Krista.
LeBryant Siddell now at the plate here for ICC. Stands in and takes that first pitch high for a ball. And, Jeremy, I know you haven't seen the Indians yet, but LeBryant Siddell is probably one of the most patient batters you'll see at the plate, maybe in ever.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that has more walks drawn this year than strikeouts in junior college baseball, and that really is something to behold. 19 walks on the season. He's got a .295 average, but a .430 on-base percentage, and that gives you an idea of that patience you were talking about.
1-1 is the count. A breaking pitch that hung up just a little bit too high that time for Krista, and now the count goes 2-1 here to LeBryant Siddell. There's 2 outs here in the top of the first. No score, and nobody on base here for the Indians. So the Tigers trying to find a quick 3-up, 3-down inning. So Siddell jammed on this one, but it goes out of play. And now the count evens up at 2-2.
Well, there's a ton of room down that right field line, and that's exactly where LeBryant was trying to go. Shoot it down the line. He can really run, as you talked about as well. Interesting to see the defensive alignment in the outfield for both teams as we get deeper into the contest and the lineup turns over.
Siddell looks at that pitch low, and they're going to call it strike 3. And Siddell not a big fan of the call there, so that's going to be a big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout to end the inning there for the Tigers. And the Tigers fired up as they come out of the dugout. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Indians. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We'll come back and take a look at the ICC starting lineup. But before we do that, let's hear a word from Coke. We'll be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
My burger goes best with mustard.
Ketchup and mustard.
Grass-fed beef. No, corn-fed.
On the grill. Now, flat top.
Iceberg lettuce. Nah, arugula. Jalapeno.
No way. Avocado, dude.
Medium rare. Gotta be well done. Brioche.
Sesame seeds.
American cheese.
Cheddar.
Can I have a turkey burger? What? Turkeys are for Thanksgiving, man. I like my burger with the Coke.
I'll agree to that.
Strictly with a Coke. Only with a Coke.
Coke and a burger. Come on.
All right.
That's where you get the flavor.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the bottom of the first inning. It's ICC 0, Northeast 0. The 1-2-3 batters due up as we move to the bottom of the inning. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's starting lineups for the Indians. ICC and Coke, now that's a winning combination, and Coach Rick Collier hopes he's got this winning combination put together here in Game 1. We've already introduced you to the first three batters in the lineup for the Indians. Kyle Krieger at second base, Jackson Lancaster in center field, and LeBryant Sedale in left field. Pitching today, and the DH is going to be Justin Medlin. He's a Middle Tennessee signee. Catching will be Austin Powell. The shortstop will be Brett Coker. The third baseman will be Russell Bunch. Lane Domino will be in right field. And Hayden Palmer will be over at first base. So that is your Coca-Cola starting lineups here. And Jeremy, take a look at some numbers inside the stats here, brought to you by the Sonic of Fulton on Justin Medlin.
Medlin's had a really good year, and, of course, interesting right up the road, Ripley, Mississippi. So, you know, his heart rate is probably going pretty fast, and he wants to have a good outing today. He's had a really good year this year, 3-0, making his sixth appearance, 24 and 2/3 innings pitched, 13 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 9 walks, 32 strikeouts, averaging 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's given up 2 home runs, a 1.46 ERA. From the lefty, about as good as it gets.
Yeah, and you talk about that heart race racing, which Jeremy, there's also a little bit of a chip on the shoulder. Did not get an offer from Northeast.
Crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Right up the road, and Ripley has had a really good year, a left-handed pitcher especially as well. You would think that, especially Richie Harrelson, John Andy Scott, two guys, both from the area, both played college baseball in the SEC. I just didn't think Medlin was the guy, but, boy, it's paid off for the Indians, especially this season.
Well, 2-0 is the count here, and that's one thing Justin's going to have to do. He's going to have to kind of keep those emotions bottled up early and don't force early in this situation. He's now behind the count 2-0 here, as this is Stanton leading us off, the center fielder for the Tigers. So Stanton will stand in, waits the pitch, and it's right down Broadway for a strike. 2-1 now is the count.
You look at some of the offensive numbers for Northeast, not nearly as gaudy as ICC, hitting .269 as a team on the year, .393 on base percentage. Stanton hitting just .211. He does have a .372 on base percentage. Does a pretty good job of being patient. He's got 18 walks on the season from that leadoff spot. But a good job by Medlin to come back and pump the strike in there.
2-2 now is the count. No out. Stanton at the plate, going to have to guard the dish here. Pitch coming. This one fouled back off the netting, and we'll stay at 2-2.
And Medlin a little bit different than Krista. Krista's going to be the guy to pound the strike zone sort of the old-fashioned way. Medlin's a guy that can mix in that breaking ball and likes to go off speed, almost pitches backwards a little bit. Started off Stanton with some fastballs earlier. I think as we get deeper, you'll start to see that breaking ball.
Oh, good-looking pitch there. And, of course, at our angle, we cannot argue the quarters whatsoever. So
that is accurate.
Yeah. So a lot of ICC faithful thought that might have been a strike but did not get the call. 3-2 pitch coming. This one popped up. Going to stay in the area. Second baseman Kyle Krieger coming over and making the play in foul territory. Great job that time by Krieger, who, by the way, also from up the road here at Northeast, coming over and covering a lot of ground, making the play in foul territory.
He made a really difficult play. I wasn't sure, certainly, that Hayden Palmer, the first baseman, was going to get there, but Krieger did a good job to come all the way. Had to reach back for that, overran it just a tad, but got his glove up there. I think it would have been a foul ball had he dropped it, but certainly would have been close, but a really nice and athletic play.
So now this is going to bring up Braxton Miller, who takes a healthy chop at that one and couldn't quite square up on it as it goes for strike one.
Miller hitting .309 on the season, a home run, 10 runs batted in, a .446 on base percentage. So a guy that's really patient. A good matchup here for Medlin.
Oh, nice pitch that time. This is a breaking pitch that just fell out in front of the batter.
That's what I was talking about. He's done a good job, used a lot of his fastball early, but he's got that really nice breaking pitch. And if he can get strike one over, that can be a real weapon for him as he gets through this lineup.
That fastball was high that time, and now the count goes 1-2 here to Braxton Miller. So Medlin will get it set to deliver here. He's one of those guys, when he gets in a rhythm, he starts working with purpose. but early in the contest, he's kind of more methodical, wants to find his rhythm and find that strike zone. That one bounces in front of Austin Powell, and so now the count evens up at 2-2.
Well, the home plate umpire just turned and said something to the Northeast dugout. I think he was not at all impressed with all the cheers and the antics, and I think he just kind of wants everybody to settle down. You can tell there's a lot of emotion in the ballpark today.
This pitch popped up, and it's going to get out of play as Austin Powell gives chase to his right side, and it falls harmlessly out of play. Well, this is typically where I give you the dimensions of the ballpark, and they're not listed right now, so I'll just make them up. 390 to dead center.
I don't know that probably 350 if I had to guess.
Okay, so it's a lot smaller than Crescent Field. Swung on and missed for strike 3, then tagged him out. A big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout of Braxton Miller. Tag out. That's the first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, renaissancebank.com, member FDIC.
Got that breaking pitch over. Really good job on the 2-2 pitch. It pumped a lot of fastballs in there, but Miller was susceptible to that breaking pitch. Got him to swing over the top of it earlier in the count, comes back with it on the 2-2. Really nasty. Looks like a fastball, but obviously has different speed and just falls off the table. Well done by Jack Medlin.
Now this is going to be Hayes Hansford at the plate. And he takes that first pitch from Just inside for a ball. Hansford playing in right field. Takes that pitch across for a strike. Boy, you can tell that fastball got a little bit of pop on it.
It does. Hansford hitting .333 on the year, 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in, a .509 on-base percentage. So you can see why they put him in that 3 spot. He's done a really good job this year just being patient. Again, one of those guys that has a lot of walks, 21 on the season.
So pitch coming, swung on and missed. Nice job locating low. 2-2 now is the count here on Hansford. So the Indians trying to return serve after going 3 up, 3 down in the top half of the inning. Looking to do the same here in the bottom half of the first. 0-0 is your score. Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. Pitch coming. It's fouled off, foul, I should say, right here in front of us. And we'll stay at 2-2.
I like the way that Medlin's mixing up those pitches. He's coming into the righties, which is what he wants to do, but he's also done a good job using that off-speed pitch that will move away. Typically, you think it moves into the back foot of the righties, but actually moves away like does right there.
Swinging miss, strike 3. We'll have to throw this one down the first, and they do. So back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts, 2-3 on the putout, and the Tigers go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom half of the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors. 0-0 is your score after 1 inning of play. We're going to take a timeout and hear a few words from our sponsors and come back with the top of the second. We're going to be the 4, 5, 6 batters due up for the Indians. Back with more right after this on 95.1 The Farm and Let'sGoICCTV.com.
You could say it's about the clubs. You could say it's about the ball. You could even say it's about the course or the weather. But what it really comes down to is consistency and hard work. Over and over and over again. At Renaissance, we understand consistency. We understand hard work. Most importantly, we understand you. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for the top of the second inning. For ICC, it'll be the 4, 5, 6 batters, Justin Medlin, Austin Powell, and Brett Coker. Both teams go 3 up, 3 down, a pair of strikeouts for Medlin and 1 for Krista, so pretty good start to the contest for both teams.
Yeah, both pitchers doing exactly what they've done all year. Krista, more of an overpowering velocity kind of guy, really had ICC off balance, and Medlin, you're doing it a little more mixing pitches and mixing locations. You see Krista will try to work in a changeup, but ICC is going to need to sit dead red on that fastball, and we talked about in the top of the first, they're going to get a lot of pitches to hit.
Well, this is a guy you don't want to square up on a fastball. Justin Medlin, pretty good season so far at the plate. He is listed as the DH as well as pitcher, and there is going to be a fly ball. Center fielder is going to go back. He's near the warning track, looking up on the track, now comes back in and squeezes for an out. So once again, that's 3 times the Indians have flown out to center field. But, Jeremy, you got to think they're eventually going to be able to time one of those up a little bit more solid than that.
Yeah, that one was by far the best one. A couple were kind of the lazy variety. Medlin did a good job. He got the fastball middle away, went with it, and sent it out into deep center. Not going to get much help from the wind today. Flag barely moving. But if you continue to get on that, you'll be in good shape.
Now this is Austin Powell, the catcher at the plate, batting in that 5 spot for the Indian. Swings on that one, fouls it back off the netting for strike 1.
Austin having a terrific season, 370 at the plate, 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in, 500 on-base percentage as well. Just a lot of balance, 1 through 9 in this Indians lineup.
That pitch misses high. 1-1 now is the count here to Austin Powell. Brett Coker is on deck, the shortstop. ICC looking for their first hit of the day. They've put the bat on the ball 3 times and have flown out to center field. They've also struck out. Here's another deep fly ball. It's going to go to center field. Center fielder going to go back, looking up into the sun, and we'll squeeze that one again. Well, I'll tell you what.
He's made all 5 outs.
Yeah. The center fielder, Stanton, might be on a world record pace to record the most putouts in a game.
Fielding percentage going way up at the moment. And if you're Kristen, that's what you're going to get, though. As a power pitcher, you fill the zone. Sometimes hitters try to drop that back shoulder and see if they can hit it a little bit harder than just trying to make contact. And you get some guys to keep their bat, underneath the baseball, and they hit it on a high plane, and you see some lazy fly balls that are served out there. And, again, another first pitch fastball that's pumped in there. But talk about the outfield, though. Northeast bunching the gaps down the lines, there's a ton of room down there if the Indians can shoot balls that way.
This pitch is going to be fouled off out of play, even with the count now at 1-1 here on Brett Coker, the shortstop.
Hitting .321 on the season, 17 runs batted in, a .406 on-base percentage.
Indians moved up to number 4 in the latest rankings. They're actually tied for 4th. They got as high as number 2 last year, the highest ever ranking for the Indians. There's a shot, and it's going to go for a hit. Our first hit of the contest, and it's going to belong to Brett Coker. And, Jeremy, that's what you said. They're more towards the gap. That one kind of got over between the first baseman and second baseman, able to squeeze that one through for a 2-out single.
Yeah, really good piece of hitting. A fastball on the outside corner, a little bit to the bottom of the strike zone, and instead of trying to pull it, which would allow you to roll over on it, good job there to shoot it into right field, go with the pitch, and you get a little 2-out base runner and see if you can get to Krista. Of course, if you're Northeast, you say, look, 2 outs, nobody on base, you're okay. You've been in control. But now the Indians, just with that depth, have a chance to try and get something here in the second.
This is Russell Bunch at the plate now, awaiting the pitch. Swings on the first one and couldn't catch up with the fastball. And so now the Indians trying to spark a little bit of a 2-out rally here. No score, top of the second, 2 outs, and a runner over in first. That's Brett Coker, who just singled out to right field.
Bunch hitting .284, but again, a high on-base percentage at .461. Krista able to blow the fastball by him on the first pitch of the at-bat. Probably not going to see as much from a stolen bases standpoint, at least over there with Coker. I mean, he's 2 for 2 on the season. Indians are 42 out of 49, so they will run, but maybe not with Coker a lot this year.
Yeah. So 0-1 is the count here to Bunch after the toss over to first. And he's going to look at that one, and Bunch didn't really like it. He kind of just shakes his head, looks back at Coach Collier, and now finds himself in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, really good pitch location, though, by Kristen. Umpires are sometimes going to give you a little bit off the plate if you're pitching well. He's done a good job so far. So you might get to expand that strike zone just a tad, but Bunch got to be careful here.
So 0-2 is the count to Russell Bunch. Runner over at first. There'll be a soft toss that way. Half-hearted tag as Coker gets back without an issue.
The one thing I will say, Kristen, probably haven't seen his best move, granted, but those 2 throws over don't really give you a lot of confidence if you're Northeast. He can hold the runners on. So you get the top of the lineup on base. I think we're going to see them try and challenge because Krista's not great at holding runners on.
A snap throw from the catcher to first after that pitch goes high for a ball, and Coker is back safely. So that's just putting it, as you said, Jeremy, in the head of the Indians that, hey, we are going to throw over on you today.
Yeah, and you look at Lancaster with 11 stolen bases, Lane Domino with 11 stolen bases. Krieger's 5 for 6. So you get some guys that get on base, they'll certainly take their chances.
Bunch hits a grounder. Third baseman's going to come up, throw it over, and it's going to be in time for the out. 5-3 to end the inning. So the Indians get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll move to the bottom half of the second inning. No score here in Game 1. Reminder that Game 1 is scheduled for 9 innings instead of the traditional 7. So we'll take a break and hear a word from Little Caesars and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
Itawamba Community College is now offering 3-day weekends. You can be one of the first to take advantage of a compact course schedule with a majority of classes offered Monday through Thursday. Let us customize your education to fit your needs. Become a part of the ICC family and apply today at apply.iccms.edu. ICC, the best start here.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Gore, Jeremy Kennedy bringing you this action. Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. Game 1 only available today, or also available today on 95.1 The Farm, your hometown country station. So we do appreciate everyone tuning in there as well. For the Tigers, it's going to be the 4, 5, 6 batters due up. Samaniego, Lipsy, and Roach. So it's going to be Samaniego, Tyler Samaniego, the first baseman to start us off here. ICC got to hit the previous inning. There's going to be a ground ball. Bunch is going to come up. It's going to throw over, and it's going to be in time. Well, that throw, he almost pulled Palmer not off the bag, but he almost stretched a little too far. 5-3 on the putout. 1 pitch, 1 out, a pitcher's best friend.
It is, and I like what Bunch did, though. He understood who was at the plate and who was running. Samaniego, a great hitter, 400 on the year, 500 on base percentage, but you can see coming, he's got a little bit of an injury. He's not the fastest guy in the world, so you don't want to rush that. So Bunch took his time, made sure he made a good, solid throw and get the first out of the inning. Really well done by Bunch at first.
That pitch to Lipsy is going to miss low for a ball. Lipsy, the DH, Anthony Lipsy at the plate. 0-1 is the count. 1 out, nobody on here. In the bottom of the second, Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. 0-0 is the score. That pitch missing, I guess. I heard someone moan. I thought it might have been the umpires, but it was not. It was 2-0 now is the count.
Hitting 300 on the year, tied for the team lead in home runs with Samaniego with 6. So Northeast team has hit only 19 on the season compared to what ICC's done, only hit 13. So neither one of these teams are going to bash the ball around the ballpark in that fashion. Both play in fairly larger ballparks, though, and the wind doesn't exactly help if you get a ball out there. We've seen that already today with a couple of hits from ICC.
That pitch high gets away from Powell. Nobody on base really do any damage. Now the count goes 3-1 here to Lipsy. So Justin Medlin going to have to battle back here. This one ripped. Going to be trouble. Nope. Jackson Lancaster says, I got this. So Lancaster sprints out there, and I tell you, Jeremy, there's a lot of plays this season I thought was going to be trouble that Jackson Lancaster runs to it, sets up, and waits on the ball to get to it.
Made it easy because off the bat, I was like you. I thought that was going to be a gapper into left center field, but Lancaster was there. And give Lipsy credit. He got a 3-1 pitch he wanted to handle, and he hammered into the outfield. Unfortunately for him, it was right to where Lancaster could move over. Justin Medlin gets away with really a mistake pitch after falling behind in the count.
That first pitch high for a ball. This is Carter Roach, the second baseman at the plate now. Yeah, there's a reason why Jackson Lancaster is going to be playing in the SEC next year. The Mizzou signee showing it off there. This pitch popped up. It's going to drift over, and Lane Domino, he's fast, but not that fast, as it gets out of play for a strike. 1-1 now is the count.
Yeah, and I think the one thing, too, obviously he made the catch, so that's the most important thing, but he did it just in a smooth manner, didn't rush, didn't look like he put really as much effort into it, just kind of able to glide over there, and that's what you want to see out of your center fielder. You have to be able to judge the ball accurately off the bat every single time, and Lancaster made that play look very simple.
So 1-1 now is the count here to Carter Roach. Pitch coming. Roach rips one, and it's going to drop for a hit. So that's now going to be another 2-out hit. And right now, Jeremy, this team's pretty much anything you can do, I can do better. ICC gets a 2-out single, and now the Tigers answer in the bottom of the half with a 2-out single of their own.
Yeah, Roach with a nice job to take that pitch right back up the box. Only hitting 180 on the season, but got another mistake pitch. So Medlin, in this inning, not so much in the first inning, but starting to miss his spot and leave a lot of pitches right in the heart of the strike zone. And Northeast has hit the ball hard last couple of times. Fortunately for the Indians, one resulted in an out, but Medlin getting hit a little bit harder perhaps than should be maybe when you get to the bottom of this Northeast lineup.
That pitch missing low for a ball. This is Ramsey Ivy, the third baseman, at the plate now for the Tigers.
He's hitting .256 on the season. So, again, it's not a lineup that's going to really be all flash. They don't hit the ball around the ballpark a ton. So this is where Medlin needs to be good.
Runner goes and picked a pretty good pitch to run on as it was a hit-and-run situation. Swung on a miss for a strike. It does go down as a stolen base for Roach. But the ball from Powell kind of just came out of his glove and popped out of his hand.
Third stolen base of the year by Roach. 24 of 29 now as a team are the Tigers, and I think that's what we're going to see a lot of in this one. If you get the right guys on base, they're going to take some chances. And, Medlin did a much better job being able to hold Roach on than Krista did back in the first inning. Unfortunately, as we talked about, Powell just couldn't get a grip of it when he came up trying to throw.
So 2-1 is the count. There is 2 outs in the inning. Ramsey Ivy at the plate, and runner in scoring position here for the Tigers. This pitch popped up. It's going to get back and out of play, and so it evens up the count now at 2-2. Well, a nice job by Medlin to battle back here and even up the count at 2-2. There, as we said, a runner at second. No score, bottom of the second, game one between ICC and Northeast.
This is where I think if you're Medlin, you got to attack. You got a hitter that's struggled a little bit this year. You got to attack right here. Try to get the strikeout. You don't want to go 3-2 even with first base open.
So the pitch coming. And it does go low that time. And, Jeremy, it does go 3-2. First base is open in this case, but you do want to just try to get out of this inning because you don't want the Thomas Stevens. You'd rather see him start off the third.
You would. And, again, we've got a guy that's not hit the ball particularly well this season. You don't want to walk and put him on base. You want to attack right here with your fastball.
And it hit him. So that's going to be just a miscue there on the part of Justin Medlin. So now runners on first and second with 2 outs, and this is going to bring up Thomas Stevens, the catcher, to the plate. And so just a good job, though. Let's give credit where credit's due. Ivy fouled off some pitches, kept that at-bat alive, and then took one for the team.
Yeah, he did a really good job there. A couple of pitches that were borderline that he took, that he got the benefit of the doubt, and then a couple of pitches that were pretty solid by Medlin. He was able to just get enough of the barrel on to get out of play. Now a bit of a jam here for Medlin. First time there's been any sort of issue for him up to this point.
Well, Medlin breezes that fastball back past Thomas Stevens, the catcher here in game one, batting in the 8th spot.
.299 on the season, so a pretty solid hitter. Got 10 RBIs. Got some pop in that bat, too, if Medlin makes a mistake.
This one fouled off, and now the count goes 0-2. Good job by Justin to come back and get ahead in this count and see if he can't just get out of this jam with no damage done.
That was a terrific 0-1 breaking pitch. I think Stevens thought he was going to see another fastball in the zone. Came back with the off speed, had him out in front. Now 0-2, you can throw anything.
So 0-2 is a count, 2 outs. Bottom of the second, scoreless between ICC and Northeast. That pitch up high, not a bad spot to miss. See if you couldn't get him to chase one out of the zone. Good eye on the part of Stevens. 1-2 now goes to count.
Well, maybe that's just to change the eye level. Maybe come back with something a little bit down and in. See if you can get him to swing over the top of it.
So waiting the 1-2 pitch here. On its way, this one lifted. Center fielder Jackson Lancaster going over and makes the catch. That was a little bit more acrobatic than the Indians fans would have liked as he got to the warning track and had to kind of hop up a little bit to get the put out. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We've played 2, and ICC and Northeast still scoreless. Who can find the bats early in this one? We'll find out when we come back. But before we do that, we're going to hear a word from Sonic and more right here on the ICC Sports Network.
Crunchy Fritos, warm chili, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents. It's like real comfort food.
Trying to get out of my comfort zone, and these guys keep pulling me back in. Pulling me back in!
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour at any time. Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves. A Fritos chili pie. Juicy Junior Burger. Or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And as we shift to the top of the third inning for ICC, it'll be the 8-9-1 batters due up. Lane Domino, Hayden Palmer, and back to the top of the lineup in Kyle Krieger. And Jeremy, your thoughts on the game so far through 2 innings?
A lot of what we thought we would see. 2 really good pitchers, and both so far have done a nice job commanding the strike zone. Both teams, as you mentioned, it's sort of mirror images of each other at the plate. Some hard hit balls into center field. Northeast got a couple of guys on base, try to start a 2-out rally. ICC tried to do the same thing in the second. I think what's going to be really key is what do these pitchers do the second time through the lineup. 8-9-1 for ICC. Going to see the same thing for Northeast in the bottom of this inning as well. How do the hitters and pitchers adjust to seeing each other for the second time through the lineup? I think that's what's going to be really key.
Lane Domino starting us off here, takes that pitch, missing low for a ball. Lane, Jerry, you've heard this back in my TV 7 days. Quicker than Walt Flanagan's dog. This kid's got crazy speed.
Yeah, you said that a couple of times. Perfect 11 for 11 in stolen bases this year. So if he can get on base, I think he's the prime candidate. Tied for the lead with Jackson Lancaster in stolen bases to try and challenge. We talked about Krista, not really a great throw over a couple of times. Doesn't have a great move. Not great at holding runners on. So Domino can get on base. He's got a shot.
This one's down the line. This one's go for extra bases, or is he going to get out of the park? That is a home run. The first home run of the season for Lane Domino, and the Indians take a 1-0 lead.
I was just about to say hitting .316 with 17 runs batted in. Talked about Krista. He's going to be a guy that tries to get ahead with his fastball and use his fastball predominantly. The Indians are going to get pitches to hit, and that time Domino got one middle in, did not miss it. And we've seen some hard hit balls to straightaway center. That one done smartly. Go to left field, shorter porch, and it was hammered out there by Domino.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have that camera that's located directly behind the plate to be able to see it, as there's a ground ball. Second baseman is going to have the throw over in time. One pitch and want to retire Hayden Palmer, 4-3. But yeah, Lane Domino, I was talking about his speed, not known for his power, gets that solo home run to start the inning, and ICC leads it 1-0.
Yeah, that will do you some good if you're the Indians inside the dugout. But just a terrific job to turn on that pitch. Middle in, did not miss it at all.
So now this is going to be Kyle Krieger at the plate. Krista will step off and take time. So 1-0 is the score. ICC with 2 hits, 1 for the Tigers. 1-0 is your score here in the top of the third inning. And the reason why I didn't get too excited on that hit, I couldn't see it. As this pitch popped straight up, I was actually looking for the home plate umpire. Somebody give me the signal, and it was Jeremy that spun it around that time. So
spent 3 years doing games here, I understand where you're coming from. It is different. But you could tell that ball was either going to be right off the top of the wall in left field or it was going to be out. And fortunately for ICC, it cleared the fence easily.
And then, Krieger gets a gift there. As it was a foul ball, the first baseman had a chance to make the play on it and just kind of overran it, and he had to reach back to get it. Second time we've seen a player do that. Krieger was able to make the play. First baseman that time, Samaniego, was not able to, so a break for Krieger.
Yeah, he just overran it, and I'm not sure how much that leg injury that he has. You see him kind of grabbing a little bit of that right ankle, and It's plagued him a lot this year. Hasn't hurt him at the plate. He's hitting over 400, but defensively, and I know he's at first base, and so it's easier for him to play there. But on a play like that, you just wonder how much that injury affected him, because that's a play that normally a healthy Tyler Samaniego would have made.
That pitch missing high for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. You got to think the Indians kind of looking down that line. You might see them try to play some small ball and force some issue with that injury a little bit later on in the game. So the 1-2 pitch coming to Krieger. He swings and misses at the fastball. Or actually fouled it back, he said, held on to by the catcher. And so that's going to go for another Renaissance Bank strikeout, the second of the game for Krista. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, RenaissanceBank.com, member FDIC.
Well, Krista's pitched really well, just comes and challenges Krieger, a 1-2 fastball. Sometimes you think maybe you're going to get an off-speed pitch because the pitcher's ahead in the count. Krista doesn't waste any time, goes after Krieger. It's a big strikeout for him. He's pitched well since giving up that home run.
Jackson Lancaster at the plate, swings at a low fastball, misses for a strike. And Jeremy, you talked about it. The Indians know this guy likes to fill up the strike zone, so the scouting report is swing when you think you got a chance. That pitch missing low and inside, and oh no. Krista is down, and he is grabbing his knee. Hopefully he is okay, but we're going to take a quick break and be back with more right after this.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
Student involvement is a top priority here at Itawamba Community College.
If you want to be involved with student government, then the Student Government Association is the place for you.
If you have a stellar GPA, then Phi Theta Kappa is for you.
If you're interested in the diverse culture of our campus population, then the Diversity Club is for you.
If you're interested in leadership and service, then Indian Delegation is for you.
If you're majoring in computer programming or computer networking, then CPNA, the Computer Programming Networking Association, is for you.
If you're interested in good conversations and free lunch on Thursdays, then the Wesley Foundation is for you.
Our health science programs also have specific organizations for those majors.
Student Activities is excited to bring you new opportunities here at the ICC Tupelo campus.
Whatever your passion may be, we have a place for you.
This video is brought to you by Phi Theta Kappa, Beta Chi Sigma, Tupelo campus.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy, a good sign here to see Jake Krista able to walk off on his own power as he was down there for a minute. And hopefully, it's his plant foot, hopefully just maybe our hyperextension of his knee and nothing serious there. So, yeah, it's a rivalry, but you don't ever like to see a kid get hurt.
No, and like you, I was watching the pitch, and all of a sudden, just as soon as the pitch got to the catcher, boom, he went down, and you could tell, obviously, grabbing that left knee, and so we'll certainly try and see if we can get any sort of injury update on him a little bit later on in the day, maybe tonight. Hope that he's certainly okay. He was pitching extremely well, but that's the only unfortunate thing sometimes. These pitchers in that motion, they constantly go, and sometimes if you slip, it really can hurt you from an ankle or a knee or a leg, and hopefully he'll be okay. And they desperately need him. He is one of their better pitchers and maybe the best pitcher that they have.
Now entering to pitch is going to be Dylan Hitchcock, and Let's go ahead and take a look at some of his stats, Jeremy, before we cut away for another break here. Dylan entering to pitch. Jackson Lancaster at the plate with a 1-1 count.
Doesn't have a record on the season. 26 2/3 innings pitched. 27 hits, 24 runs, 15 earned. 1 home run on the year, a 5.06 ERA. So Hitchcock going to be obviously a little bit different, a little smaller left-hander versus the right-hander Krista. Also stuff very different. Going to try to use velocity, but not quite as much. It will have to use more of the off-speed stuff. So it's a completely different scouting report now for the Indians 2 2/3 into the ball game. And you got a 1-1 count that Hitchcock's going to inherit as well. So, well, you just hope that he can sort of find his rhythm and find a way to get going in this too. You probably expected he was going to pitch today, but maybe not in this sort of situation.
Yep, as we're going to take a quick break here from Little Caesars with this Little Caesars pitching change and be back with more right after this on 95.1 The Farm and Let's Go ICCTV.com, the Red Channel.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say. It's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6. Pizza.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as Dylan Hitchcock still taking his warm-ups here. So, Jeremy, let's talk about the mindset of the Indians now. But, you're seeing a different guy, somebody that obviously you were not prepared for coming in. So, if you're as a Tiger fan, you're hoping that he can come in and fill up that zone and maybe confuse some of these batters with a different style. But mindset for the Indians, how do you go about this?
Yeah, but you understand the scouting report. You're seeing him throw some pitches. Going to get extended warm-ups because he certainly wasn't down there throwing and wasn't ready. I mean, obviously, Krista was doing extremely well. He made one mistake, and Lane Domino made him pay for it. But other than that, he was pitching extremely well, was a pitch away from finishing out his 3rd inning of work. And so if you're the Indians, I think you look at this scouting report, you say, okay, look, we're going to get a smaller guy, first of all, from the left side. So that's completely different. You can see, too, he's not going to be a high-velocity guy, so he's going to try to mix his pitches. It's going to be more like Medlin, just try to mix his pitches. Now, Medlin's got a little bit more velocity than Hitchcock does, but mix his pitches in and out, so the scouting report's completely different. You still want to go up there and hunt the fastball, and when you get it, attack it. But I think you have to look maybe a little more off-speed and look for pitches maybe on the outside corner, particularly the lefties, than you would have with Krista.
Yeah, most definitely want to be locked in the dugout right now just to get a feel for him early on. So now 1-1 is the count on Jackson Lancaster. There is 2 outs in the inning. Lancaster lifts that pitch low for a ball.
And right there you see first pitch of the game. Going to start with a breaking pitch that ends up on the outside corner to the lefty. He's going to try a sweeping slider, particularly against those left-handed batters.
And that pitch in there for a strike, so 2-2 is the count. Nice job coming in and evening up the count there after doing that first pass. This is a tough situation for Hitchcock because he basically just got thrown to the fire here.
He did, and as I said, he probably was expecting to pitch today, but not in this sort of situation.
There's going to be a ground ball, and it's going to get through for Lancaster. So Lancaster comes in and delivers that hit for the Indians. And so a 2-out single for the 2nd straight inning now for the Indians. And now this is going to bring up LeBryant Siddell.
And one of the things, too, about that is Lancaster was able to work the count, got it to 2-2, so he saw 3 pitches. And now, if you're ICC, you're looking at, okay, a little different scouting report as we talked about. You just want to treat this like it's the top of the 1st inning. Everybody kind of be a little bit patient. If you see the fastball, attack it. But you're okay with being a little bit patient.
And that's what Siddell did. Swings on the first pitch he sees. Center fielder goes up, makes a jumping catch for the final out of the inning. So the Indians get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. And yet again, Bryce Stanton gets another putout. So we'll move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. ICC leads it 1-0. Due up for the Tigers will be the 9-1-2 batters, Sal, Stanton, and Miller. But before we see those guys, we're going to hear a word from First American National Bank and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the bottom of the third inning. Game 1, scheduled for 9 innings here between ICC and Northeast. We're in Boonville on the road. Adam Gore, Jeremy Kennedy here. Number 4 Indians versus Northeast. And Jeremy now, Justin Medlin's going to come in. He's going to be greeted by the bottom of the lineup, then jump quickly back to the top. So this is where we can possibly see some of those guys that have seen him through the lineup now come back and maybe see if Northeast bats can get fired up.
That's where you always sort of look for the first major adjustments of the ball game. What happens when you get to the second time through the lineup? Medlin's going to deal with a couple of the 8-9 hitters and then get to that top of the order again. You know, Krista was handling that before he went out with the injury. We'll see if Medlin can do the same.
That first pitch missing low for a ball. 1-0 is the count here to Simmons Sowell. Is that pitch in there for a strike? 1-1 now is the count. Sowell, the shortstop. You know, I go through and I name like the all name teams as we go throughout the league. That one right there could get honorable mention. Simmons Sowell. That's just kind of tough to say.
Some alliteration in the family, you would imagine. 191 average, and that's kind of an example of the bottom half of that Northeast lineup. This is where Medlin needs to be more aggressive and attack. It's a lineup at the bottom that's not had a great year offensively. Doesn't need to kind of mess around. Needs to be able to attack, get these guys out. Then he can really focus on the top of the order.
That pitch across for a strike. 2-2 now is the count. That pitch just missing outside. Medlin wanted that one for a strike, didn't get it. 3-2 now goes the count.
Yeah, and this is a really good at-bat now by Sal. No matter what happens, the guy hitting below the Mendoza lines, forced a full count, could be a leadoff runner.
There's a shot that's going to go for a base hit. A flare out to left field. Just a good patient at-bat.
Well, we've seen Medlin the second inning, and now with Sowell, he's starting to get hit a little bit hard here in the last 4 or 5 batters that he's faced. And we talked about it in the last inning. Some of the guys that really got a hold of the ball, fastball in the zone. He goes 3-2 there, falls behind Sowell, has to come with something. Sowell's sitting dead red fastball and did a good job to hammer it out there into left field.
Now this is going to be Bryce Stanton, who popped up in foul territory. He was put out by Kyle Krieger. Runner at first, no outs. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes that one for a ball. One thing you got to do with the Tigers now is the fact that you got to go over the first, but you got a left-handed pitcher, so you just can't get too big of a lead over there.
You can, and of course, if you look, Sowell 1 for 1 and stolen bases this year. Of course, the problem is for him, he hasn't been on base as much.
Shows bunt again, takes that pitch, missing low, and so once again, Medlin falling a little bit behind in the count here early in the batters.
Wouldn't surprise me if they take the bunt off here. I know Stanton's only hitting .211, but you got a 2-0 count. Medlin's struggling just a bit.
That was the case there. Didn't show bunt that time, and now Medlin just can't find the strike zone. 3-0 now is the count here to Stanton. So you know the red light's going to be on here for Stanton, so this is a chance for Medlin. You're going to have to kind of man up and find the zone here. So waiting the pitch. It's on its way and didn't find it. A walk, so now there's going to be runners on first and second with no outs. Tigers with one of their best opportunities so far in the contest.
Yeah, Medlin right now just losing a little bit of his rhythm. I think, obviously, hard hit balls the last couple of innings, maybe getting to him. Wasn't really close on any of those pitches right there. He's got to really settle down now. I don't think Northeast is going to necessarily bunt. You got Braxton Miller at the plate. Only 1 home run of the year, but he is hitting over 300. I know you want to try to get your RBI guys with people in scoring position.
And the bunt is laid down. It's only going to be one play. It's over to first, and it's in time. And so that's going to be a perfectly executed sacrifice bunt, 1-3 on the putout. That sacrifice bunt being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union, reminding you of the ultimate sacrifice paid for our sins. That's the ICC BSU.
Second sacrifice bunt of the season executed by Braxton Miller. So doesn't do it a lot, but did a good job there. Certainly don't not necessarily disagree with the decision. I'm just saying it wouldn't have surprised me with Medlin struggling with his command a little bit to see if you can push the envelope some. But if you're the Tigers, you want to get your RBI guys with chances to drive runners in.
Now this is going to be Hansford at the plate. He struck out swinging, was put out 2-3 to end the first. Takes that first pitch across for a strike.
Then Hansford, 20 RBIs on the season, third on the team behind Samaniego and Lipsy.
That pitch missing for a ball. Some of the ICC fans kind of wooing behind the background. Thought that was a pretty good pitch. 1-1 now is the count.
So you understand why they would want
Time
to get
is
both
taken here
guys
as Hayden Palmer is getting chased by a wasp apparently. As he was running around over there, swatting at it, and Medlin almost went into his rhythm, and the infield umpire's like, whoa, wait a minute. Sorry, not to mean to interrupt you. It's just
no, I haven't seen the game stop for that reason in a long time. I'm glad that you alerted me.
That pitch in the dirt. Great job, though, by Austin Powell to keep that one in front of him as the runner was trying to get home. He does the tying run is at third right now. Go-ahead run at second. We're in the bottom of the third inning, 1-0. ICC with the lead here over Northeast. It's like ICC is sending one of the guys down to the bullpen to start getting geared up, one of the catchers, that is. As there's a shot, and it's going to be off the glove, and it's going to go for extra base hits. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. They're going to try to hold him up at second. Yes, he will. And that was a clutch hit there. As that's going to go for a 2-run double out of Hansford, and he actually had the ICC chop going after he got to second base.
Well, that ball was laced. Again, Medlin makes a mistake. He gets behind in the count, which has been the biggest problem for him the last 4 or 5 batters. So it's a 2-1 pitch. You're sitting dead red fastball, and Hansford gets one in there, and Boyd just hammered it right down the left field line. I thought Bunch was going to have a shot at it to at least get perhaps maybe a piece of it, but didn't, and a huge 2 RBI double by Hansford.
And Palmer still getting hawked by a wasp over there. To the wall, it's going to be caught. No, he dropped it. No, he caught it. Did Domino. And they can't find it. And, oh my goodness, there is machinery out there near the fence. And Lane Domino is down. And Lane Domino is hurt. And they're going to rush out to the field to check on Lane Domino. We're going to take a break and be back with more right after this.
Crunchy Fritos, warm chili, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents. It's like real comfort food.
Trying to get out of my comfort zone, and these guys keep pulling me back in. Pulling me back in!
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime. Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves. A Fritos chili pie. Juicy Junior Burger. Or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're still waiting to see what they're going to call here in this situation as they're looking at Lane Domino out there. And Jeremy, it's a fence out there, but I can't tell how far off. It looks like there's maybe some equipment, like maybe a backhoe or something like that there. But I think that's further away. But when he hit the wall, he instantly collapsed to the ground. And now the umpire is going to talk this over and see what they're going to do, if they're going to call it a double on the stop the play or what. So Domino is being looked at, and now Coach Harrelson, or maybe that's Kirtland, Coach Kirtland out there talking to the.
No, that's Richie talking
that's
to
Richie.
both
that's
umpires.
Richie.
And I think just trying to figure out the infield umpire. You said made the motion that Domino made the catch, and I thought he caught it.
Yeah, I thought
he caught it. And then obviously when he ran into the wall, you don't know when it came down.
Yeah. And so they're still discussing this right now. So that actually they're going to say put him on second base. So if they put him on second base, does that mean the run scored? So
Hansford scores.
So so the run did score in that situation. So it's now 3-1 Tigers. So that's going to be a double. So is that Samaniego? Yes, doubled in that situation. So that would go for an RBI. So 3-1 now is the score, third run of the inning, and the Tigers are getting it fired up here. They haven't put the run on the board just yet.
Yeah, I mean, there it is right there. So 40th run batted in by Samaniego, and so you just kind of get back to the baseball portion of this. Medlin continues to fall behind, and he's been there's a first pitch swing there, but he's been having to go to that fastball, which he's not really. That's not his necessarily plus pitch. He wants to use a little bit more of that breaking ball, but he's made some mistake pitches. Northeast, to their credit, is taking advantage of it.
That first pitch swung on a miss by Lipsy. Second swung on a miss as well. Good job by Medlin to kind of rally here and get ahead in the count. And Jeremy, that's what you said he struggled with. Hasn't been able to get ahead of those batters, and doing so right now. 0-2 is the count. Domino did stay in the game as this pitch fouled back, and we'll stay at 0-2.
Yeah, if you're Medlin, you've got to keep Northeast right where they are. 4 hits, 3 of them coming in this inning. Get ahead in the count and try to finish these hitters off. But you're at the meat of that lineup for Northeast.
And a big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there, and that's just what Medlin needed. His third Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day. The best bank in the South, Renaissance Bank, renaissancebank.com. Member FDIC. Hey, follow us on Twitter, @Let'sGoICC. Yeah, there we go, @Let'sGoICC. You can see our Wanna Play Wednesday presented by Renaissance Bank. Madison Haley has the call on that each week, so you can find that on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So now this is going to be Carter Roach at the plate, as that pitch missing for a ball.
You mentioned it, a big strikeout there of Lipsy, second on the team in runs batted in, hitting of 300 on the season, so he's had a terrific year. And for Medlin to get that strikeout, really big there now, a pitch away from getting out of this inning. And this is what we talked about. You look at this lineup, and it's, Samadiego's hitting 409, Lipsy's hitting 300. Then you look at Hansford hitting 333. Other than that, it's a lot of guys hitting below 250 and a couple hitting below the Mendoza line. That's where you got to take advantage of this lineup here if you're Justin Medlin. He didn't do that the first time through. His second time through has not been as successful.
Well, the Indians do have someone warming up in the bullpen. Try to pick up that number here in a moment. That pitch across for a strike, and 2-2 now is the count. That's actually going to be number 19, David Rowland, getting loose in the bullpen right now for the Indians. He's just starting to loose up now, so trying to just in case he's needed. Medlin, however, with a 2-2 count on Carter Roach. Indians would love to see another Renaissance Bank strikeout, and they get it. Drop the ball, going to have to hurry. Now throws it down to first in time for the putout. So good job that time, as it was Powell who kind of dropped it, or looked back at the home plate umpire, then didn't get that, since they held on to it, kind of dropped it, then had the wherewithal to chunk it down for 2-3 on the putout. So big back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts there, but the damage done. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Tigers lead it 3-1. We'll take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
Crunchy Fritos, warm chili, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents. It's like real comfort food.
I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, and these guys keep pulling me back in. Pulling me back in!
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime. Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves. A Fritos chili pie. Juicy Junior Burger. Or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the top of the fourth inning, game one scheduled for 9. Right now, it's Northeast leading 3-1 over the Indians after scoring 3 runs in the bottom half of the third inning. And Jeremy, it's been a bizarre game so far. We saw, unfortunately, Jake Krista go down with grabbing his knee after a pitch. Then we saw Lane Domino crash into the wall. He instantly collapsed, but luckily he was able to stay in the game for the Indians. So this game has been, as we said at the beginning, when ICC Northeast gets together, weird things happen. Well, it's living up to that billing so far.
It has through the first 3 innings of this one. And you look at, obviously, for ICC, I mean, Medlin, all that emotion from Ripley, didn't get an offer to play at Northeast, but he's having a great year for ICC, wants to come in and pitch well in front of a lot of people that he knows and in front of a team that, quite frankly, he wanted to be recruited by. Has struggled just a bit, but gets a chance at the plate to help his own cause. And the Indians need to get something going here against Hitchcock as he gets deeper through the lineup.
This is Justin Medlin at the plate. He flew out to center field in his first at bat, takes that pitch for a strike. Medlin looks at that one low in the dirt. Jeremy, look at Medlin. He's old school, no batting gloves.
Yeah, I like it. The only thing is, get jammed, going to be a little, you may rethink that, but fortunately it's 80 degrees and not 40 like it would have been a month and a half ago.
1-1 is the count to Medlin. Oh, took a healthy chop at that one, came up empty, and 1-2 now is the count. This is Dylan Hitchcock being thrown into the fire here, but his bats really helped him out there in the previous inning, putting 3 runs on the board to give him a little bit of breathing room. So 1-2 is the count now here to Justin Medlin. And Medlin swings and misses again. Couldn't find that one. The hook is working right now for Hitchcock. Well, I say the hook's more of a slipper or slider, I guess you can say. Not really a true slider, but something's got a little bit of juju on it and couldn't find either one of those.
Yeah, he's done a nice job working his off speed. That's what he wants to do. He'll almost pitch backwards, if you will. We'll try to get ahead with his off speed. Will use his fastball sparingly, but especially against those lefties, really wants to try to go away with the sweeping slider.
There's a rip out to the left side as that's going to be Austin Powell coming in with a hit on the first pitch he sees. And a good job by Powell just battling back and finding the 4th hit of the day for the Indians.
Waited back on it. It was an all-speed pitch, and that's what we talked about. You got to change the scouting report. It was all fastballs. It was sit dead red fastball with Krista in there. Now with Hitchcock, you've got to change that. It's easier said than done. May have to get some guys to the plate and sort of see the off-speed first, but a good job by Powell. Sitting on the off-speed, got a pitch you can handle and ripped it out there to left.
This is Brett Coker now at the plate. That ball in the dirt blocked up nicely that time by Stevens. 1-0 is the count here to Brett Coker. He had a single in his first at bat, but he was left stranded over at first. So the Indians trying to return serve here in the top of the 4th inning. They trail 3-1 here in Boonville. Runner at first with 1 out. That's just going to be a little soft toss over. Nothing really to keep the runner there. Almost lobbed it over. Looked like me trying to throw the ball.
Well, Powell does have 3 stolen bases. Pretty high number for a catcher, but I don't think he's a candidate to necessarily straight steal. You could see perhaps a hit and run.
That pitch across for a strike to Coker. Coker, the shortstop. Jeremy, this is, you and I have seen a lot of baseball throughout our careers here at ICC and also back in our TV 7 days. This kid's got a chance to be something special there at the shortstop position. As he makes some plays that sometimes that are close that you don't even think should be close, and then he makes some plays that just a lot of times you just stand back and watch as a fan.
Well, you got to have that guy at shortstop. First and foremost, you got to make the routine play, but if you've got a guy that can make those plays deep in the hole, got a strong arm, it can really carry you a long, long way.
And the soft toss over to first yet again.
A little surprised they're worried so much about Powell unless they think perhaps that Coach Collier is going to try the hit and run, but even then, a little bit of a dangerous decision to make because of the left-handed pitcher Hitchcock, but surprised they're spending a lot of time throwing over.
That pitch misses for a ball, and 2-1 now goes the count. Had to wait for the count because it feels like we hadn't had a pitch home in about 5 minutes.
Well, if you're going to hit and run, this will be the time to do it. 2-1. May not necessarily get a fastball, but certainly don't want to go 3-1. Should get something to hit.
And that pitch at the knees called a strike. It evens at the count now at 2-2.
And you got the fastball in the outside corner. That was the time right there for the trigger to be pulled by Brett Coker.
Especially something on that outside corner. If he can go with the pitch, as you said, Jeremy, they're surrendering the lines big time this afternoon in Boonville.
Yeah, still deciding to bunch has been basically the outfield alignment. ICC kind of in that same mode as well. Just want to take away the base hits in the gap. You feel like nobody's going to be able to hammer the lines, although we've seen a couple of guys try for that so far.
And this time he had to go down and find one to protect the plate here as he fouls it off. Does Coker. And the count will stay at 2-2.
Well, another thing, too, for Hitchcock, they really need him to go the distance or at least carry them a long way. This bullpen for Northeast has struggled this year. Pitching staff as a whole with an ERA of 5.44. They've surrendered 21 home runs this year. They've only hit 19 as a team.
And that pitch, Northeast fans wanted it as a strike. It was low and inside as called a ball. 3-2 now as the count goes full here to Brett Coker. If you're the Indians, find a way on. That's the story of the game right now.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the hit and run here. Powell probably going to be taken off.
Ball in the dirt. There's ball 4. So they did get the walk they were looking for in that situation with the 3-2 pitch. And now the Indians have runners at first and second with only one out in the inning. And the catcher going to come up and try to catch his breath here for a moment. And third player that we've seen shaken up today, Jeremy. And they're going to call the trainer out, so we're going to take a break. And let's hear from the Orthopedic Institute of North. Or they're not? Nope, he says he's okay. So we will not hear from the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
We will eventually, just not right now.
Yes. One of those where I think it popped up and caught him on that shoulder blade where the rare protection is not on that arm. And so, and if you've ever been hit in the shoulder blade, if you don't have that extra padding like I do, it hurts.
Even if you've got some extra padding, it can hurt. But if you're a bunch, you see the at-bat, Austin Powell jumps on the first pitch and ropes one. Coker a little bit more patient. So the approach is there. Best chance for the Indians, really the first chance for them to score with men on base.
So this will be Russell Bunch at the plate. Swings on the first pitch he sees, off the hands, popped up. Mile high, second baseman is going to go back and make the play. That was just a good pitch right there, Jeremy, as he got him in on the hands and got the pop up for an easy out.
Boy, that's a huge out right there if you're Hitchcock and the Tigers. First and second, one out. A guy that's done a nice job putting the ball in play this year. 13 runs batted in. You get him to try and go the other way, but he's out in front of it. Just didn't sit back. Gets a pop-up. Now if you're Hitchcock, you're really one pitch away from getting out of it. It's a tough out with Domino, but you're one pitch away from getting out of this jam.
Yeah, good to see Domino back in the game or staying in the game after colliding with the fence out there and being down for a few minutes. As Indians fan would love to see him do what he did in his last at-bat, and that was a home run. Domino looks at that pitch, high and outside for a ball. So 1-0 is the count, 2 outs. Runners at first and second here for the Indians. They trail 3-1 as we're in the top of the fourth inning here in Game 1. ICC trying to spark a 2-out rally here, see if they can trim into that lead, maybe even do it enough of it to retake the lead here in Boonville. Hitchcock getting ready to deliver the pitch here, taking a lot of time. And Domino lifts one, and this is going to be trouble. Right fielder's going to have to come in. No, it hung up just enough for him to get out there. Jeremy, I thought that one might have been knifing away from him, but instead a big-time pitch and a big-time out to get out of the inning there with no damage done, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Tigers trying to get back to the bats and add to this 3-1 lead. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association. At Itawamba Community College, your education is our priority. With a 20-to-1 student-teacher ratio, you will get the help that you need from your instructors. With 3 locations in Fulton, Tupelo, and Belden, ICC offers classes that will prepare you to enter almost any job field of your choice. Apply online today at apply.iccms.edu and come be a part of our ICC family. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we shift now to the bottom of the 4th inning. ICC trailing at 3-1. Northeast 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. ICC got 1 in the top half on a solo home run from Lane Domino, as that's a Sonic scoring recap. Justin Medlin staying on the hill here for the Indians. And Jeremy, to be the 7, 8, 9 batters due up. Ivy, Stevens, and Sowell. Ivy was hit by a pitch. Stevens flew out to center field, and Sowell singled and scored a run.
Yeah, this is the part of the lineup as we keep talking about that he really needs to dominate and take advantage of. It's a lineup with a lot of averages below 250, a couple below 200. They've done a nice job, though, of being really tough outs. They've taken some pitches. They've hammered the fastball when Medlin's gotten behind. He's got to get back to throwing strike one like he did right there, getting ahead, then being able to use that off-speed pitch as his out pitch.
Yeah, Ivy actually squared around to bunt, then pulled back, took that to knees for strike one. Nice little off-speed pitch, kind of fell off the table once he got to the plate, swung on a miss for strike 2.
That's the formula right there. Medlin got ahead with his fastball, like get me over, then he throws that off-speed pitch.
And this pitch going to be fouled back out of play, and we'll stay at 0-2. There is still activity in the bullpen as Rowland getting loose for the Indians. Not really working with a lot of purpose out there to get warmed up, just slowly getting there just in case he's needed.
Yeah, I think right now you're hoping Medlin can push through the 4th and the 5th, and then good strikeout right there.
3.
And then you'll make a decision. By then you hope your bats wake up and this is at least a tie ball game, or maybe the Indians have the lead, and then you may make a decision to go to the bullpen at that point. But that right there is what Medlin did back in the 1st inning. That's what he's done all year. Get ahead with that fastball, then use the off-speed stuff. Did a good job mixing his pitches and his locations on that sequence and got the first out of the inning.
This pitch popped up. It's going to get out of play. Yes, it is. Lands in the back of a Gator out there. So that goes for strike 1. Jeremy, 3 straight strikeouts for Justin Medlin. So looks like he may be kind of settling into his zone right now.
Yeah, they need him to do that if you're ICC. Record some outs, keep the Tigers where they are after that big 3-run 3rd. But he just got behind in the count in the 2nd and 3rd innings, and that allowed him to pitch constantly in 2-0, 3-1, and even some 2-1 counts. And you sit dead red fastball, you'll be able to time it up more often than not.
That went off speed that time, across for a strike, and 0-2 is the count. So good job by Justin to get ahead of the count once again here. 0-2 pitch coming. This one fouled back. Ouch off the catcher, ouch off the umpire, and they check on each other, and they say they're both good and just deliver it back out there.
And everybody's getting hurt in this one. Why not the umpire, too?
Well, one thing I'm going to do is scoot my chair back as we're in line of the chance of a foul ball. I'm also going to knock on wood after saying that.
With the left-handed batters we are, not so much with the right-handed.
There's a slow roller. Shortstop gets it. That's going to be Coker. The throw over from Coker in time for the out. And Coker just makes that look easy. 6-3 for those of you scoring at home.
Yeah, good job there by Medlin. Gets a pitch down and in. Gets him to roll over it. And this is what Medlin needs. He needs a quick, easy inning to just get back into rhythm. He's pitched well so far. He's gotten ahead. Now you've got to finish the deal here with Simmons Sowell.
So now Sowell, the number 9 batter, he did single and score a run in his first at bat. That was the lead off the 3rd inning, a 3-run 3rd inning for the Tigers. So Medlin getting set to deliver the first pitch, and it's in there for a strike. Different looking Medlin this inning.
All 3 batters start with a fastball for a strike. I don't think that's any accident whatsoever, and Medlin's done a good job hitting his spots.
That pitch in the dirt, missing for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. 2 outs in the inning. There's nobody on base right now for the Tigers. They lead at 3-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shout out to everyone listening here on 95.1 The Farm, your hometown country station. Is that pitch missing for a ball?
Just maybe overthrowing a bit and his arm kind of dragging behind his motion. Causes that ball to sail high.
That one adjusted nicely across for a strike. 2-2 now is the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on base now. As Medlin trying to get a 3-up, 3-down inning. He hasn't had one of those since the top of the or bottom of the first. 2-2 pitch coming. That one high for a ball. Jeremy, you just heard him grunt on that one, overthrowing a little bit too much on that fastball.
Yeah, I think that's been a part of his problem, just overthrowing when he tries to get that fastball in there. Messes up his mechanics, and I think that's the reason why his arm drags and some of those pitches sail high.
3-2 pitch coming, and there's the ball. So he did lose him that time, and Sowell will be on for the second time today, and we go back to the top of the lineup. And this is where the Tigers got it going last time. It was a single, a walk, and then a sacrifice bunt. Of course, all that was with no outs in the inning. There is 2 outs in the inning now, as this is going to be Bryce Stanton coming to the plate. Stanton 0 for 1 on the day. He walked and scored a run back in the third.
Now this is where, if you're Medlin, you got to shut this down now. It's left on left. Can't allow Stanton to get a base hit. We'll see. I think Roland probably start to pick up, warming up down there. Stanton reaches.
Little throw over to first. Runner just steps back on the bag, no issue. As Roland, still just kind of tossing around out there in the bullpen. So this is Stanton at the plate, as we said, walked and scored a run in his previous at-bat. That pitch, fastball for a strike. It's kind of what you need to do, Jeremy, as you said. Just put it in there. Trust your defense behind you.
Well, I mean, Stanton's hitting .211. I mean, he's currently capable, but you understand he's struggled a bit this year. You certainly don't throw it down the middle, but I think you've got to be able to challenge some of these hitters, especially with the low averages and the way they've struggled this year.
Pitch in the dirt, blocked up nicely that time by Austin Powell. Kept the ball in front of him. The runner not able to advance. 1-1 now is the count. Jeremy, let's talk about this factor, too. This is the first time we've actually had hot weather for baseball this year. And we've been warm. It's been nice, but no breeze today. Sun beaming down the guys. Not really much clouds in the sky, so, that could also be a big factor.
Could be, too. Pitchers should love it. Obviously, velocity. They'll get a little bit more loose, and they'll be able to throw harder. And we saw Krista throw extremely well early before he got hurt, and I think Medlin's probably benefiting from that as well. Obviously, the downside may tire yourself out a little bit more.
Fastball fouled back, but held on to. Couldn't time it up that time. 1-2 is the count.
They got a break there. That pitch well upstairs. Stanton tried to chase it. So now you're Medlin. This is where he's had an issue a little bit earlier in the contest, from the second, third, when he was struggling. Get to 2 strikes and can't finish. Been better with that here in this inning.
So the pitch coming. Missing low. Good eye on the part of Stanton that time as he held off on that one. 2-2 is the count.
Yeah,
not necessarily a bad spot to miss.
No, good pitch and also a good take. Both guys did their job there.
So Justin Medlin with a 2-2 count. Staring down Stanton. Runner at first base with 2 outs. Runner goes. Little hit and run action. It's going to be a tough play. It's going to be a toss over to first, and in time. Nicely done that time by the La Tech signee, Kyle Krieger, to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We've played 4 in Boonville. ICC trailing at 3-1. The Indians going to send the 9-1-2 batters to the plate. Hayden Palmer, Kyle Krieger, and Jackson Lancaster. When we come back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
You could say it's about the clubs. You could say it's about the ball. You could even say it's about the course or the weather. But what it really comes down to is consistency and hard work. Over and over and over again. At Renaissance, we understand consistency. We understand hard work. Most importantly, we understand you. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now as we move to the top of the 5th inning, ICC trailing at 3-1. And we're going to have the 9-1-2 batters due up. Palmer, Krieger, and Lancaster. Those guys have combined to go 1 for 6 with a strikeout, or 1 for 5 with a strikeout. So, Jeremy, if the Indians going to get it going, they need to start finding their rhythm here. We're not late in the contest, as this game's scheduled for 9, but Indians do need to show a little bit of sign of life here.
Yeah, they do. I mean, certainly Krista did a good job when he was in the contest. Hitchcock's done a nice job throwing into a really difficult situation after the injury to Krista, and he's done a good job keeping the Indians off balance. A bit of a jam the last inning, first and second one out, but got out of it beautifully.
Palmer swings, tips that one back for a strike. 1-1 now is the count here on Hayden Palmer. Hayden's had a tough day, not at the plate, but in the infield, as he's been chased by wasp a couple innings.
Hitting .333 on the season as well. Needs to get something going. Indians got to get a leadoff batter on base as well. That would help, and then give themselves a chance. We talked about them being 42 for 49 in the stolen base department. Give themselves a chance to at least try to get some action on the base paths.
So Palmer smacks this one. Left fielder is going to chase and can't get to it. That's going to go for extra bases. So a nice job there for a leadoff double from Hayden Palmer.
Third double of the season for Palmer. I talked about needing to get a leadoff hitter on base, and that's exactly what happened. You get a good count to hit a fastball, you get one, and you don't miss it. Lane Domino didn't. Palmer doesn't either. Just wearing out that left field line. 5th hit of the day we talked about for ICC. Got to string some together, but maybe that'll get them going now because you start to get to this part of the lineup, you get a little bit deeper, then it's going to flip over. They start to see Hitchcock for the second time, and that's where hitters become more comfortable.
Now we go back to the top of the lineup. This is Kyle Krieger, 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Going to look Palmer back to second. So the Indians left a runner over in scoring position in the last inning. They've left 4 on the bags altogether, one of those in scoring position. So this is Kyle Krieger. As Hitchcock taking a lot of time now with the runner at second. So we'll see how he handles it with the runner behind his back. That pitch at the knees, called a strike.
Good location if you're Hitchcock. If it's a strike or not, that's a good location. Low, right at the knees. A really tough pitch to hit. Of course, if you're Krieger, one thing you want to do is advance the runner. Certainly going to swing away, but regardless, your approach needs to be middle to the right side if you get to 2 strikes.
So 0-1 is the count. They're going to get Palmer back to second as the runner goes back sliding, and Rick's like, I got you. Trust me. As Palmer slid back in with no throw. So now Krieger at the plate. 0-1 is the count. No outs. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 3-1. Northeast with the lead over the number 4 ICC Indians. Northeast unranked on the season, so you know this is a big ball game for them. As Krieger reaches out, lifts this one. Left fielder is going to camp underneath it. And so Krieger just kind of frustrated with himself as he knows he's chased one out of the zone that time.
He did. He was out in front as well. I think he was maybe sitting on the fastball. Hitchcock comes with the off speed, and Krieger just way out in front and serves it into left field. And that's the disappointment there if you're Krieger. Is one thing to record an out, but another thing not to advance a runner, especially in scoring position. I think that's the frustration there, but a good job by Hitchcock. He's still clearly keeping some of these Indians hitters off balance with that off speed. I don't think they've adjusted quite yet to the difference between Krista and Hitchcock.
Now this is Jackson Lancaster, 1 for 2 on the day at the plate. Runner at second base with 1 out. Lancaster swings at the first pitch he sees, misses on a low breaking pitch, and that goes for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Lancaster had a single, was left stranded over at first base in the 3rd inning. Palmer's at second. He started us off with a double here in the top of the 5th inning. 3-1. Northeast with the lead over ICC. Hitchcock checks the runner. Now we'll just simply look back and send him back to second base. I don't really expect to see much of a pickoff over this situation. Palmer, not known for being aggressive on the bases, but who knows? Indians trail by 2, so the ICC might try to get creative on the base pass. Hitchcock set to deliver. Ball in the dirt, blocked up nicely, and Palmer will head back to second. Jeremy, we've said that a couple times for both these pitchers. When they've had runners on the bases, they put them in the dirt, but the catchers, however, have backed them up pretty well. When you got breaking ball pitchers, that's what they like to do, and 9 times out of 10, they do end up in the dirt on you.
Yeah, it just gives you so much confidence out there on the mound to know that you can spike a curveball or a slider in the dirt and know that your catcher's going to keep it in front. Was a really good pitch there. It just gives you so much more freedom, gives you some more options in terms of what to throw, and you feel like you can throw anything in any count.
That pitch across for a strike to Jackson Lancaster. 1-2 now is the count here on Lancaster. Well, if he can get something squared up and put that one down the line, it'll be big here for the Indians. So Lancaster at the plate, trying to get things going here for the Indians. Lancaster swings and misses, however, and another great pitch low in the zone, and the Indians just cannot figure out the riddle. That is Hitchcock so far.
Boy, that was a terrific job there by Hitchcock. Again, continues to go with the off speed. It's a pitch that looks like a fastball and falls off the table. And he had Krieger out in front, got a fly out, had Lancaster out in front, and got him to swing and miss. 2 disappointing at bats if you're the Indians, and now all of a sudden Hitchcock a pitch away from getting out of this lead-off double jam, and it's going to be a difficult one with LeBryant Siddell, but boy, if he can get a pitch and get out of this, you feel like Hitchcock's got all the confidence in the world.
So 0-2 is Siddell on the day. He does have a strikeout. Looks at that ball in the dirt, hops up and goes for a ball. Now, one thing LeBryant does do well is he can hit for power when he has the opportunity. So it's one of those, if you do have one of those breaking pitches, you don't necessarily want to hang it up to a guy like Siddell.
He's got 5 doubles on the year in addition to the home run.
He really came on strong at the end of his freshman season last year. Looks at that pitch, and it's across for a strike. So, Jeremy, whatever Hitchcock's got going today, it's pretty much riddled the Indians' batters as he's just doing a good job of peppering it around and filling up that strike zone, but at the same time, the Indians have just looked at a lot of good pitches.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to the sports information staff at Northeast, but you would imagine this is the best he has looked all season, especially considering the competition.
And that pitch is going to head out to center field as Palmer slides back, and unfortunately for the ICC fans, he was unable to advance after the ball got away, and that's what we talked about. You don't necessarily want to try to toss it around too much out there and just give the opportunity for a free base, and that time a good job out there by center fielder Stanton to recognize the situation and quickly hustle in and get the ball.
Yeah, if you're Northeast, that couldn't have worked out any better. Didn't go sideways, didn't go in the gap, just went right to Stanton out there, and he could get it back in, so no harm, no foul.
1-1 is the count to Siddell. Siddell checks his swing, and it goes for a ball. Siddell struck out looking to end the first, flew out to center to end the third, trying to redeem himself here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. 3-1. Northeast with the lead over number 4 ICC here in Game 1, scheduled for 9 innings. All conference Game 1s are 9 innings. Siddell sends one. It's going to go back to the wall, and I told you so. LeBryant Siddell with a 2-run home run, and the Indians tie it up at 3.
Boy, finally got a pitch he knew he could drive and hammered it out into left field. Got a 2-1 pitch, stalled the fastball, and did not miss it whatsoever. That's the approach we're talking about. You've got to be able to understand what's coming, know that scouting report. You're patient enough to lay off pitches outside the zone, and Hitchcock made a mistake. That is the 21st home run Northeast pitching has given up this season. And ICC, boy, what a huge 2-out knock there to tie this thing back up.
So 3-3 is your score now. And this is going to bring up Justin Medlin. Well, Medlin at the plate would love to help out his own cause here, but you know he's really happy to see that shot off the bat of LeBryant Siddell.
Probably gives him a little more confidence and makes him a little more relaxed going out to the mound in the 5th inning.
So Medlin at the plate. Now he blasts one. Center fielder back to the wall and is going to be, just inside the park. That one needed just a little bit more legs to be back-to-back home runs. But it was a 2-run jack coming up right here. Or excuse me, actually I hit the instant replay instead of switching it to cameras. But either way it goes, 3-3 is your score. The Indians get 2 runs on 2 hits no errors, and nobody left on base. Long ball has been big for the Indians today. We'll take a break and come back with the bottom of the 5th inning right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're tied 3-3 thanks to that 2-run home run off the bat of LeBryant Sedale that scored Palmer, who doubled to start the inning. We move to the bottom of the 5th now. Jeremy, this game it's one of those where it's exciting at times, kind of get lulls at times, but it feels like there's just one big surge just waiting to happen in this contest.
Yeah, and if you're ICC, you feel like obviously that was a huge inning because you get the leadoff double, and then you had 2 poor at-bats by Krieger and Lancaster, and Hitchcock is 1 pitch away from getting out of it unscathed. And if you're 3-1 going to the bottom of the 5th, maybe some frustration starts to set in. But then all of a sudden, LeBryant Sedale with a terrific at-bat, was patient, got ahead 2-1, expected fastball, got it, and did not miss it. And now you got a new ball game. We'll see if Justin Medlin can continue to get ahead. That's where he's been the last couple of innings, done a better job getting ahead, and when he's done that, he's been able to get the outs. 5 strikeouts, I think, in the ball game so far for Medlin. He's got to continue to pump the strike zone, but a big inning here. You need that shutdown inning if you're ICC.
Well, this is Braxton Miller at the plate. That first pitch missing low. Miller 0 for 1 today. He did have a sacrifice bunt. He's also struck out swinging. This pitch popped up right side. Domino jogging over and will make the play. So 2 pitches and 1 out now. Pretty routine fly ball out there to right field.
So that's what you want to be right there if you're Medlin. Now you want to come out, seize momentum. This is the heart of the order for the Tigers. And you got Hayes Hansford, who had that big 2 RBI double to give Northeast the lead back in the 3rd inning. You know he's very capable on the year. Now has 22 RBIs, hitting .333 coming in, and so you got to go and attack him there if you're Medlin.
Takes that first pitch for a strike. Does Hansford. He does have a double and did drive in 2 runs. He also scored a run, part of that 3-run inning there. That pitch high for a ball, 1-1 now is the count. Well, the allergies are flaring up on you, Jeremy. It's a bad part of this time of year for anybody living in the South. The pollen count is infinity. So the 1-1 pitch coming. That one up high for a ball. 2-1 now goes the count.
Infinity +1.
Yes.
Infinity +1. But you'd rather it be 83 and sunny like this than 40 degrees and cold and gray like it was a month and a half ago.
This is going to be down for a base hit, and it's going to track to the corner. They're actually going to ask him to go for 2, and the throw is not going to be in time, and that's going to be a double, his 2nd double of the day for Hansford. So Hansford has had the number of Medlin so far in this contest. Didn't come up doing the chop like he did last time, though.
7th double of the season for Hansford, as you mentioned, 2nd one today, and we keep talking about the defensive alignment. Both teams want to bunch the gaps. They're willing to give up the lines. And Hansford takes a pitch on the outer corner, inside out, go the opposite way. Domino, if he doesn't slip, I think we've got to play at second base. I don't know that he gets him, but I think we've got to play for sure. And who knows if Hansford gets the sign to go to second. But a big 1-out double, and now Northeast with a chance, as we talked about, with the heart of their lineup and their RBI machine here, Samaniego, with a chance to retake the lead.
Yeah, he doubled in his last at-bat in a very awkward situation. It was a ground rule double after Domino went crashing into the fence and the ball got away and maybe got underneath the fence as they threw up the double. And they did put him back after he did round the bases, thinking he might have had a chance at an in-the-park home run. So that first pitch across for a strike here to Samaniego. 0-1 is the count. That pitch high and inside, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. It's Hansford who doubled with 1 out in the inning. He's standing at second base right now. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Samaniego 1 for 2 with a double. He did ground out to the third baseman at his first at bat to start the second. Reaches down to get this one, pops it back and out of play, and that'll go for a strike, 1-2.
What's a really good pitch there by Medlin. A breaking pitch. I think Samaniego thought maybe because it's a 1-1, you don't want to risk going and falling behind 2-1. So if he's sitting on fastball, Medlin throws him at off speed. Samaniego way out in front of that one.
So 1-2 is the count here on Samaniego. Pitch coming. And that's just going to be a slow roller to the second baseman. Only 1 play, and it's going to be to first. And so that basically works as a sacrifice bunt, 4-3 on the putout, however, for the second out of the inning.
Productive out if you're Samaniego in Northeast, you advance the runner, but if you're ICC, that's most definitely a win for you. It's the best hitter Northeast has, 40 RBIs on the season, hitting over 400. You get him to roll over there. Now you're a pitch away from getting out of this inning here if you're Medlin. And boy, this could go a long way here. A big matchup between he and Anthony Lipsy, second on the team in RBIs for Northeast, as the Indians are trying to keep the Tigers where they are.
That pitch missing outside to Lipsy for a ball. He's 0 for 2. He struck out for the second out of the third. He's also flew out to center field in his first at bat. That was for the second out of the second as well. This pitch popped up. It's going to get out of play, and now the count will even up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. There is a runner at third here for the Tigers. The Indians trying to get out of this jam with no damage done. Lipsy, however, trying to fire up the bats here for the Tigers. 1-1 pitch coming. Ground ball, shortstop, gets it. Coker zips it over for the out, and that will do it. Good job there on the ground ball. Coker take care of business, and the Indians get out of there with back-to-back ground balls and a big 2 outs there.
It was gigantic because you give up that 1-out double, and then you get the 2 best RBI hitters to roll over, and you get out of this inning keeping it at 3, and the Indians maintain some momentum.
Indians going to try to fire the bats up when we come back to the top of the 6th inning. 3-3 is your score, ICC and Northeast. We'll take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and be back with more right after this.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Crunchy Fritos, warm chili, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents. It's like real comfort food.
Trying to get out of my comfort zone, and these guys keep pulling me back in. Pulling me back in!
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime. Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves. A Fritos chili pie. Juicy Junior Burger. Or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the top of the 6th inning. 3-3 is your score. Austin Powell, Brett Coker, and Russell Bunch all due up here for the Indians. Got a text message from Brother Chris, so that means we got some Renaissance Bank scoreboard updates. So we'll give you that after this pitch coming up here to Austin Powell. Powell takes a look at that first pitch across for a strike. Baseball update, Hines and Gulf Coast scoreless through 3 innings. That's a big-time matchup in the league there as they're battling for first place. Most of them just now getting fired up, no scores. So we had the early game this afternoon.
Yeah, you got Hines at 9-2 in the league, Gulf Coast at 9-5. Of course, the Indians are sitting at 9-3. Can catch Northwest, who's 11-3, although they are, I believe, hosting Coahoma today. So obviously just be a catch-up in terms of games played.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's a pretty tight race. You look at the top portion of the league, you all the way down East Central. It's sitting at 9-5 as well.
This is going to be a shot. It could drop for extra bases, and it is. It's going to hit, and now Powell's going to round first, look at second to throw. It's going to be cut off, and actually nobody is at second. May have had a shot to get him that time, so just a little miscommunication on the part of the Tigers on who were to cover that. And that's going to be the second hit of the day for Austin Powell. That goes for a double and a big-time start to the inning there for the Indians.
6th double of the season for Austin Powell. His 2 at-bats the last 2 times up have been terrific. Took the first pitch you saw from Hitchcock and hammered it into left field. And then that defensive alignment just giving you the line if you can take it. Got a pitch inside-out swing and shot it down the right field line. And Powell, not the nimblest, certainly is the catcher, but did a good job to motor into second base without any drama. As you mentioned, gives the Indians a lot that they can do here in the inning. We'll see if they want Coker to square around a bunt to get him to third, or if you want to try and let him swing away and play for more than just 1 run.
Well, Coker is 1 for 1 with the walk on the day. He's been left stranded on base twice, so he'll dig in here. Runner at second, no outs. We're in the top of the 6th inning. The Indians trying to get things turned up here as they're going to look the runner back. Yeah, you talk about Austin Powell. I don't know if he played football in high school, but he's got good speed for a catcher, but he's a big guy. So if he was a linebacker, I sure wouldn't want to see him coming at me.
Yeah, he's a guy listed now at 6'1", 195 from Star City, Arkansas. But, yeah, looks like he's added some weight to that frame, at least at the beginning of the season.
There's a ground ball to the shortstop. The throw over is going to be in time, so the runner does advance in that situation. So productive out there off the bat of Brett Coker.
Yeah, hitting .321. I think that's the right call. It's still a long game. You're just in the top of the 6th inning. You want to swing away and play for more than 1 run, but I like the approach. Go middle to the opposite field to move Powell over to third base. We'll see if Northeast wants to bring the infield in. I think they're questioning right now, and it looks like perhaps maybe they will. You look, still trying to get an idea of what Coach Harrelson wants him to do. Now he wants to push him back just a little bit. Samaniego, I'm a little surprised he's not in at first base.
Yeah.
Because you would expect him to be in at the corners and cut down the run there, maybe play back in the middle infield.
Especially with Samaniego with that leg injury, you squeeze a bunt down that line and force it that way, he's going to have trouble to get to it.
And I think that may be what this mound visit is about right here by Coach Harrelson. I don't think this is about Hitchcock and what pitch to throw. I think this is about what he wants them to do defensively because you mentioned it. Samaniego got a bit of an ankle injury. We saw that on display when he tried to track down a foul ball earlier in the ball game. He's playing about 3 steps from the outfield grass at first base. So if you're a bunch here and you get a pitch on the outside corner, you just want to serve this down the first baseline because at that point you would easily get Powell home and may get a chance to get a single out of this. But I think the biggest thing that for Richie Harrelson you got to decide is what to do with the middle infield. Do you want to keep them back, you allow the run to take the out, or do you feel like you need to go ahead try to cut that run down because Medlin's starting to settle in just a little bit, and that offense has not been particularly good all season.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, too, is bringing it in the infield because he was marching the guys around. The shortstop looked like he was confused because he kept pointing at him.
They were all confused.
Yeah, they were saying, send me back the signal. And he was like, do I go back? Do you want me to come up?
Yeah, they weren't sure at all.
Yeah, good job by the bazooka from Iuka to come out and kind of get everybody on the same page in a clutch situation.
Yeah, he started the only triple play I've ever seen live, by the way.
Really?
Ole Miss, Arkansas, 95 season. First and second, nobody out. Chopper hit to Harrelson at third and just turned it. And still the only triple play I've ever seen live, and he started it. He's done a good job with this Northeast program. And obviously, as a former infielder, he's got an idea of where he wants his guys to be. And it looks like they are going to play infield in. Outfield, though, going to be back playing no doubles, especially in the corners.
So a clutch situation here for Russell Bunch. He's 0 for 2. Ground out to third and a pop up to second. Both these dugouts starting to get fired up here. Bunch looks at that pitch for a ball. There's only 1 out in the inning. There is a runner at third. Mike Powell, his dad, Austin's dad, came in and said they timed his 40 with a calendar in high school. So Dad,
and the dad throwing shade out there.
Dad throwing shade on him. No, Mike had a chance to meet him. Of course, living in Arkansas, they can't make these trips too often. And Jeremy, and you're part of the JUCO system. You and I go a long way back. That's the reason why we do these type things.
Oh, sure.
For these families that just can't make it. So we do appreciate Mike and everyone that's tuned in this afternoon as that pitch missing for a ball. 3-0 now is a count to Bunch.
Well, the other thing, too, you look at how much these streaming systems have helped the schools, not just with athletics, but also academically as well. And what you're looking at now is a 3-ball, no-strike count. If you're Hitchcock, you might as well just go ahead and put him on base.
And they do. So Russell Bunch will draw the walk, and now the Indians with runners on the corners with 1 out.
So not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Obviously, if you're the Tigers, sets up the double play. Middle infield's going to be back. We'll see Samaniego probably going to have to hold Bunch there at first base and wants to be in. And now you get, as we keep talking about through this lineup, and Caleb Whittle.
Okay, so a new batter coming in this situation for Lane Domino, who was he was shaken up earlier. So, yeah, Whittle into the contest here.
I think that's probably where you are. And so you look at the numbers on Whittle this year, hitting .273, .385 on base percentage.
Stands in, takes that first pitch for a strike.
And his job right now is just to get the ball into the outfield deep enough to score Powell. You got, as we talked about, a lot of room down the right field line. Huge gap in right center as well. Got some speed, does Whittle, but you want to get the ball into the outfield.
And they do throw it over to first, and don't know if they might have been expecting a run to move from third because the first baseman come off and like he was ready to fire over to third. Instead, Brunch able to get back without an issue over at first base. Yeah, you talk about Whittle. He's got crazy speed as that ball in the dirt for a ball, and now leaves the count at 1-1.
Well, and the other thing, too, is, if you're thinking about a squeeze, Samaniego's occupied a little bit over there with Bunch at first base. And then defensively, Ramsey Ivy at third. He's back enough right now that if you dropped one down, I think you get Powell home.
And they are going to throw it over to first. That might be what they keep doing, throw it over to first to see if he's going to tip his cards to show if they're going to try to squeeze in this situation.
Yeah, that's exactly why you do that. I think good job, though, by Whittle at the plate not to give anything away. And maybe just that Coach Collier says, look, you're coming to the game to pinch hit. Just swing away, go through your normal approach, and we'll see if we can't put another run on the board.
So Whittle at the plate sees the pitch, and that one's going to miss for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here to Caleb Whittle.
And now Hitchcock's fallen behind some hitters. Of course, walked Bunch on 4 pitches behind 2-1 here. Starting to maybe lose it just a tad. He's had control issues so far this year, but behind in the count again.
And looks at that one low, and now the count goes 3-1.
Well, now you understand. I think if you're Whittle, you're going to probably get the take sign here. 7 of the last 8 have been out of the strike zone since that double by Austin Powell and the ground out by Kyle Krieger.
Awaiting the 3-1 offering here from Hitchcock. There's a ground ball, and they're going to try to throw it home, and then it's going to get away. And the Indians score the run, and Bunch will head over to second. And the Indians, I don't know that they drew it up like that, Jeremy, but it worked.
Boy, if you're Hitchcock, you just feel awful, and you feel bad for him because this was a great play to first field it. It's a 3-1 pitch, and he wasn't obviously getting the take sign.
Yep.
Swinging away. Great job by Hitchcock to get a glove on it, and he did the right thing. He looked at the runner, saw Powell was coming home. All he had to do was make a good throw, and you get him in the rundown or get him at the plate. So frustrating there if you're Hitchcock. And if you're ICC, obviously you'll take it, but that's what happens when you put pressure on the opposing team. And Hitchcock could feel that, get behind 3-1, and the Indians get a break and take the lead 4-3.
Now let's talk about the play of Thomas Stevens on that. He tried to barehand that, and that wasn't an easy throw either.
No, that's why they give you a glove.
Yeah.
You never barehand that thing at all. I understand the throw wasn't all that great, but you got to go up with your glove. And if you get it, because you get a glove on it, perhaps maybe you knock it down a little bit. Get your hand up there and knocked it all the way to the backstop. There was no chance at that point to get Powell. But the Indians catch a break, and if you're Northeast, I think you played it beautifully. You get what you wanted, but unfortunately just couldn't turn the double play.
Like we may be having a pitching change here. Yes, we will. So we're going to take a break and hear a word from Little Caesars and come back and introduce you to the new pitcher for the Tigers. ICC leads it 4-3 with 1 out and runners on the bags, on the corners, I should say, here in the top of the 6th. Back with more right after this.
Celebrate outrageous amounts of toppings with Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest. With the most cheese and now with the most toppings at the nation's best price. Create your favorite pizza starting at $6. Pay, then express pickup at Little Caesars.
Pizza. 9 ERA.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy was just, we were going over some of the stats there. And the new pitcher in here is going to be Case Kessinger. He is a sophomore out of Oxford, went to Oxford High School. You're part of the world, so tell us a bit more about Chase.
Yeah, Chase had a really good high school career at Oxford. Struggling this year, though, 11 innings pitched, 14 hits, 17 runs, 12 earned, 11 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's given up 2 home runs this year, a 9.82 ERA. He's got solid stuff, more of a velocity guy. Saw him a couple of times last year, and he's a little bit going to be more like Krista than Hitchcock in terms of velocity. Wanted to get ahead with the fastball. The control issues are certainly there, but then there have also been times where he gets behind in the count and gets to a little bit too much of the plate. So for the Indians, I think the scouting report has to go back to where it was at the very beginning. You go up there, you see the fastball, you hunt it. You'll lay off the off speed. You'll not give up on it necessarily, but at least at the very beginning, until he shows an adjustment, you sit on that fastball and you really attack it. And 1 run already in, you've got a chance to really add to it.
So 4-3 is your score after that fielder's choice error on the play. As the Indians now will come back out. There's Russell Bunch at third base. You do have Caleb Whittle over at first, and he is a threat to steal because he is extremely fast. He's a Fulton kid, so had a chance to watch him in high school as well as his high school career. Not necessarily watching, but word of mouth around town. So Whittle has great speed out there, so the Indians might try to see if they can move him over and get him out of that double play situation.
Does have a couple of stolen bases on the season. Only 3 attempts, but not an everyday guy, so he doesn't get as many opportunities, but you could see it a little bit easier to steal with a right-handed pitcher, I should say, on the mound.
And there's going to be a swing on the first pitch he sees, ground ball, and there's going to be a chance to turn 2, and they do. Well, that's just what they needed there, and that's what you call production. 6 unassisted to 3 to retire Hayden Palmer. Swing on the first pitch he saw, and Jeremy, a big-time play there by the Tigers.
Well, you couldn't draw it up any better than that. We got the first pitch fastball, but hit right to the right place if you're Northeast, and a good job by Chase Kessinger to come in and get out of the inning.
We're going to take a break and find out more about the 3-day weekends coming to ICC next year, or next school year, I should say. Back with more right after this. ICC leads it 4-3. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th.
Itawamba Community College is now offering 3-day weekends. You can be one of the first to take advantage of a compact course schedule with a majority of classes offered Monday through Thursday. Let us customize your education to fit your needs. Become a part of the ICC family and apply today at apply.iccms.edu. ICC, the best start here.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We'll say a special hello to everyone listening on 95.1 The Farm, your hometown country station. Carrying ICC baseball this afternoon. A hello to those watching on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the red channel, as well. We do apologize. We don't have the most camera-friendly setup here, but we're trying to do the best we can. Justin Medlin back on the hill here, and he's going to be greeted by Carter Roach, who takes that first pitch of the knees for a strike.
Talked about the shutdown inning last inning when ICC got the game tied from Northeast, and now you get the lead back. This is where you need Medlin to be good. He's been much better the last couple innings, beginning to get ahead of hitters and getting back into that rhythm we saw in the first inning. Gets to deal with the bottom half of the lineup, got through the tough part last inning, got to take advantage of it, but falling behind here 2-1. Looks like Roland is ready to go. He stopped throwing. He's been warming up for about an hour, it seems like. So this is going to be Justin Medlin's inning at least until he gets in trouble.
There's a shot that's going to go for a leadoff single. Just a flare out to center field. And a nice start to the inning, I should say, for the Tigers as Roach gets his second hit of the day.
2-1 pitch, and boy, Roach, you mentioned it, roped the ball a couple of times today, hitting 180 coming in, has 2 hits on the afternoon, and disappointing there if you're Medlin. You give up a leadoff single. The bottom of the order has given him the most trouble just in terms of how it's looked. He hasn't been comfortable. A couple of hits to the bottom half of the lineup as well.
So a runner at first, and now this is going to be Ivy coming to the plate. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes that for a strike. Ramsey
I would
Ivy.
imagine. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I would imagine he would be bunting here, the bottom half of the order, get him to second base, and then let the top of the order try and drive him in.
So 0-1 is the count here to Ivy. No out, and a runner over at first base. This time he takes that pitch high for a ball. 1-1 is the count. Ivy 0 for 1 of the day with a strikeout swinging. He's also been hit by a pitch, and that was on a full count, so that one just kind of insult to injury.
Yeah. Already going to get to take your base anyway because it's ball 4. You got to wear one.
That pitch going high once again, and Medlin still a little amped up, Jeremy, as he's trying to overthrow that fastball.
Yeah, I think his mechanics are still starting to fail him a little bit. And you mentioned the weather earlier. It's 83 degrees. Obviously, a gorgeous afternoon here, but first time it's kind of hot, and you wonder maybe if fatigue is starting to set in just a little bit with Medlin.
This pitch fouled off. He's with the count now at 2-2. Remind you, hit us up on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. And Twitter, it's been a buzzing with the announcement of volleyball coming to ICC in 2019. 2019 will be the developmental year, and then the 2020 season will be the first year of competition. So that 2019, if you're a member of the team, won't count against your eligibility in the, what am I trying to think of? The clearinghouse. There we go. That's what I was trying to think of. As that foul ball goes down the line, it was a hit-and-run situation there, and we'll stay at 2-2. Jeremy, you've covered volleyball before.
I have. It's different. If you're used to just maybe doing football and basketball and softball and baseball, it's a little bit different. But there are a lot of really good girls volleyball, high school girls volleyball teams around the area. I would imagine that ICC is going to have a lot to choose from a recruiting standpoint when they get the program going.
The listing for the head coach should be listed pretty soon as this pitch up high for a ball.
And I would imagine there are going to be some high school volleyball coaches around the area that have been successful that will probably fill out an application or 3 or 4 or 5 just to make sure.
Matter of fact, I saw our AD, Coach Carrie Ball Williamson, today, and she was like, we need to hurry up and get that thing listed. I'm getting blown up with phone calls.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, there are a ton of really good, as I mentioned, high school volleyball programs that have been good around the area.
This ball popped up. Can of corn as Bunch comes in and squeezes it for the out. They did have the hit and run on, so the runner had to track back in a hurry, but that was a major league pop-up.
It was, and I like the call by Northeast to go hit and run here. Medlin's struggling a little bit with its command. You're trying to push the issue, but able to get that big pop-up. And as we talked about again, you get to the bottom half of the order. Stevens a 300 hitter, but he's not Samaniego and not Hansford and not Lipsy. You don't want those 3 guys to beat you. You want to force the other guys to beat you in this lineup. They've done a pretty good job, as we talked about, at the bottom half of it, but Medlin's got to be good here.
Runner at first. There is 1 out, and this is Stevens.
He balked it for sure.
I'm going to say that was a balk.
No question about it. Just flinched and couldn't decide, I think, maybe if he wanted to throw or just step off the rubber. And, boy, first time I've seen a balk called this season, and well, now all of a sudden you put a runner in scoring position, that could change the whole complex of the inning.
So 1 out, runner at second now after the balk. 4-3, ICC with the lead. That pitch missing outside for a ball. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Game 1 scheduled for 9. Game 2 will be scheduled for 7 innings, and it'll be available only on the Red channel. Let's go ICCTV.com Red. So we encourage you, if you're listening on the radio, flip over to the computer and join us for Game 2. 4-3, ICC with the lead. Couldn't catch up with the fastball there. A big, healthy swing by Stevens. And the count evens up at 1-1. We'll be back in action here on the Red Channel on Friday as I get to go back to Southwest Mississippi for the 2nd week in a row.
Summit is beautiful.
And you're crazy, is he? Throwback. Not a slight against Summit. It's just the fact that it's a solid 4.5 hours from the house.
Yes, it is. You got to crisscross the state. Completely different weather.
Yep. Different part of the world down there. I've got family down there, so I'm getting a chance to kill 2 birds, 1 stone, if they'll have me. So 1-1 is the count. Oh, nice high fastball as Stevens behind on that one, swung and missed.
As we talked about all day long, you're Medlin. You've now got ahead 1 and 2, bottom half of the order. This is where you got to attack, and you want to get that strikeout. You're always thinking strikeout with 2 strikes if you're a pitcher. Maybe not beforehand, but once you get to 2 strikes, time to go get it.
Yeah, it would be a big time for a Renaissance Bank strikeout here, and he gets it. A clutch Renaissance Bank strikeout as he gets Stevens looking. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, RenaissanceBank.com, member FDIC, the 6th strikeout of the day for Justin Medlin.
38th on the season, painted the black on the outside corner, got the fastball located beautifully, hit his spot, and has a chance to get out of this without giving up anything other than just the single and the balk and preserving that 1-run Indians lead.
And now this will be Sowell at the plate. He's 1 for 1 with the run scored. He's also walked, so he's been productive today at the plate. Yeah, runner at second with 2 outs.
Only 191, but you're right, he's been good today. And in those rivalry games, you have to have guys like that, particularly when you're the underdog. And Northeast has gotten that today, and now Medlin falling behind again. Pitch count starting to get up there through 5 2/3, and you would imagine, if he can get out of this 6 innings, might be it. Goes 6 innings, gives up only 3 runs. The quality start metric is there. You turn it over to the bullpen. The ICC pitching staff, a 3.88 ERA. That's with a couple of guys who've not pitched particularly well. So the arms are there. We saw Roland warming up earlier. Wouldn't surprise me if he's the first one out of the dugout when the Indians take the field in the 7th.
So 2 away, 2-0 is the count here to Sowell. And that pitch missing high for a ball. You just kind of see Medlin talking to himself now on the mound, and so frustration's starting to set in.
Well, I think he understands, too, that, look, he reads the scouting report. He sees the same stats we do. He knows the bottom half of this lineup has struggled all year, and he knows today he hasn't been his best against them. And, there's another walk, and, you give up another walk, so you put a guy that's hitting 191 on base 3 times today, and you're going to get a meeting with your head coach.
As Coach Collier comes out, we're going to take and hear a word from Little Caesars and be back with more. ICC leads at 4-3. Northeast threatening with runners on first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say. It's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 4-3 is your score. No change here as Coach Collier just trying to come out and settle down Justin Medlin here. Tigers with the tying run over at second base. There's 2 outs. The go-ahead run is at first. And back to the top of the lineup here in Bryce Stanton. Stanton is 0 for 2 with the walk. And Medlin falls on that delivery. It still goes for a strike. So Medlin stands up and says, without a strike. That's all he was worried about. If he's like, if that's a strike, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, top of the order here, so you know what's coming behind you if you're Medlin.
So runner at second, and that pitch across for a strike. So good job by whatever Coach Collier said to Medlin. He's come out and zipped that one across. 0-2 now is the count. India's trying to find the exit. Runners on first and second here with 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. ICC clinging to a 4-3 lead here in this rivalry game between the Indians and the Tigers of Northeast. Oh, good-looking pitch there. That went up just a little bit for the umpire's liking in 1-2. So, clutch situation here for Medlin. The Tigers, however, trying to find a 2-out hit here to see if they can tie this thing up. Stanton playing in center field. Boy, he was busy early in the game defensively. As Medlin looks at the runner, now delivers. Swung on and missed for strike 3. A big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there from Justin Medlin. And Jeremy, my oh my, Medlin, he has pitched well not his best, but he's pitched well when he's had to.
Boy, outside obviously had his struggles in the third and then kind of got it going the last couple of innings. And, boy, to get out of that jam there, really big because the Tigers will have 2, 3, 4 coming up in the 7th. But the Indians get 6 quality innings from Justin Medlin.
We've played 6. ICC leads at 4-3. We head to the top of the 7th for ICC to be the 1-2-3 batters due up. Krieger, Lancaster, and Siddell. But before we get that, we're going to hear a word from First American National Bank and more right here on the ICC Sports Network.
First American National Bank is a local bank. Our 10 locations are right here in Northeast Mississippi. Banking decisions are made locally by people who live here. It's been that way for more than 50 years. Our involvement in the community is important to us. That's where our roots are. Technology, it changes daily, but our community is what keeps us together. If you like high-tech banking, we've got that too. Follow the flag to First American National Bank, from Iuka to Tupelo.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
And welcome back as we go back to the top of the lineup in the top of the 7th here. Krieger, Lancaster, and Siddell. Siddell had that 2-run home run. Lancaster had a single back in the 3rd, and Krieger 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And Krieger's the type of kid, he's ultimately, he's the competitor. He's that guy you like in that leadoff spot, gritty, so you know he's looking to try to get the bat fired up here. Sometimes a little too overzealous and trying to get off the schneid here. Krieger stands in, takes that first pitch for a ball.
Yeah, as we talked about last inning, Chase Kessinger, a velocity guy, going to start with his fastball, going to use his fastball all the way through. Has struggled with control at times this year. So if you're ICC, I think you don't eliminate the off-speed, but you definitely go up there seeing and hunting the fastball.
Krieger swings on his pitch. It flew out to right field. Right fielder's going to jog in and squeeze it for the out. So the 4th time today, Krieger has been retired, and a good pitch there from Kessinger to get out number 1.
Boy, that pitch he threw, the first one, the only pitch he threw in the 6th inning, really good. Got a double play to get out of a 1st and 3rd jam with a run already in. Tigers need him to be able to at least carry them through the 7th, maybe even the 8th inning, and keep ICC where they are. But if you're the Indians, this is where you need to take advantage. That Northeast bullpen has really struggled this year. Chase has not had a great season so far. You want to take advantage of that and give yourself the margin for error.
That first pitch was in the dirt for a ball. That one inside and low for a ball. 2-0 now is the count here on Jackson Lancaster. He's 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd, struck out in his previous at-bat swinging, and he's also flew out to center in the 1st. There's a hard hit ball. It's going to get past the diving first baseman. Nice job there by Jackson Lancaster. Come up with a clutch one-out hit there for the Indians.
Good approach there. Got ahead in the count 2-0. Sitting on the fastball. Didn't try to do too much with it. And just roped it into right field. And that's been Kessinger's issue, just falling behind and then having to come and give in with that fastball in hitters' counts. And when you get a lineup like the Indians, it's awfully dangerous. And so Lancaster provides a one-out base runner, and we haven't seen too many opportunities for ICC to really try and push the envelope and steal bases. Potentially could see it here. You got a right-handed pitcher. You got a guy in LeBryant Siddell who can really handle the bat. And, of course, Jackson Lancaster, 11 for 14 on the season, tied for the team lead in stolen bases.
That's probably what Northeast is wanting to talk about right here, a clutch situation for the Tigers as Coach Harrelson makes the trip out to the mound. Let's hear a quick word from Cagle Eye Center and be back with more right after this on FM 95.1 The Farm.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
And welcome back as they break up the meeting on the mound here. And ICC with a 4-3 lead, 1 out and a runner over at first in Jackson Lancaster. And Lancaster, quick as a hiccup over there at first base, leading the team in steals. And so the Indians, they're in the spot they want to be in right now. They've got LeBryant Sedale, who hit a home run in his last at bat, a 2-run shot. That's a real big difference in the game right now. Sedale swings on the first pitch he sees, and it's going to be booted by the third baseman. And Lancaster thought about coming to third, but he would not. And so a good job that time by Sedale, just blistering that one to the third baseman, ate him up, and the Indians now with runners on first and second.
Definitely a hard hit ball, but boy, if you're Ramsey Ivy, this is a ball that you need to grab and start that double play. At the very least, get the lead runner Lancaster at second. Walks, errors, HBPs always come back to haunt you, it seems, and so now you've got first and second. Nobody down. Second error for Northeast of the day. The first one cost them a run and a potential run down, and we'll see if the Indians can really push the envelope here.
Justin Medlin at the plate would love to help his own cause here with the big-time base hit. Swings on the first pitch he sees, and this one miles in the air, and it's going to get out of play. And I think you're starting to see the frustrations of some of these guys as Medlin, he's seen some good pitches and hasn't been able to make good contact on it. That one just luckily got out of play for Medlin.
Yeah, pitch middle in kind of jammed him a bit, and he's fortunate that one got out of play. But you definitely want to hit behind the runners. Should get pitch middle in. Kester likes to pitch on the inside of those lefties.
So 0-1 is the count here to Justin Medlin. Runners on first and second with only 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Medlin just could not find that one. Didn't keep his head on that one as he was looking to see where it went.
He was hunting fastball, and Kester came with the off-speed. Really good pitch there to mix it up. And that's the only thing. Sometimes you will get that off-speed pitch when you're trying to hunt the fastball. And so now if you're Medlin, you got to guard the dish. It's just about being productive here. You want to go middle to the right side, at least get Lancaster to third and stay out of the double play.
So 0-2 is the count here to Medlin. Ground ball is going to get through. And this is going to score Jackson Lancaster easily as they're going to throw it home, and the throw is up the line, then it gets away, and that's going to allow LeBryant Sedale to head to third. And the Indians tack on another run, a clutch hit there for Justin Medlin.
21st RBI of the season, and exactly what I talked about. He got a pitch middle in, didn't try to do too much with it, just rolled over on it and bounced it perfectly right past Samaniego. And then you allow the speedy Lancaster to come around to score, and that error so costly right now for the Tigers. A run is already in. You've got runners at the corners and a chance for the Indians to really blow this open here in the 7th.
So now the Indians, as Jeremy said, chance to open this one up a little bit more. 5-3 now is the score. 1 out, runners on the corners. And this is Austin Powell. He's been a tough out today. 2 for 3. He's got a single and a double in the contest. So the Indians trying to get the merry-go-round a spinning, as they like to say, and see if they can put a crooked letter on the board here for the first time since the 5th inning. Check swing, foul back for a strike. 1-1 now is the count.
Boy, just you talk about this team and how good they've been all year, especially 1 through 9 in that lineup. And it hasn't been as pretty at times, but you look at it today, 5 runs, 9 hits, pretty efficient. They put a lot of pressure on Northeast pitching, starting to take advantage of that bullpen, which has struggled for the most part this season. So they've done a nice job handling the different pitchers. We talked about, Krista being a velocity guy that can really pump it in there. Hitchcock more of an off-speed, sort of a junk baller from the left side. Now you get back to the more velocity-oriented guy in Kessinger, and the Indians have handled it pretty well throughout.
Well, Powell tried to check his swing on that one, couldn't hold off, and now the count goes 1-2 here on Austin Powell. Runner at third, that's LeBryant Sedale. Sedale reached on an error, got over to third after a throw up the line, got away on the throw home. He was able to scamper over to third. Justin Medlin had that RBI single. He's sitting over there at first base. Austin looks at that pitch high for a ball. 2-2 now is the count.
Could see perhaps maybe a bit of a hit and run. I know Medlin not the fastest guy in the world, but you want to stay out of that double play and maybe try to cause some issues for Northeast defensively.
As he looks at that one, 3-2 now, the count goes full.
Well, now, obviously, you'll take that off. And, boy, if you're Northeast here, just a world of hurt. You're hoping Kessinger can make a pitch and get a strikeout. And if you're Powell, anything close, just foul away, live to fight another pitch.
So 3-2 pitch coming. Powell pops this one up, deep right side. It's going to be deep enough. Actually, could be get out of the ballpark. No, it's off the wall. So 1 run will score. Medlin booking it over to third. He's going to slide in safely, so that's going to be the longest single.
Longest RBI single in Austin Powell's entire career. Boy, at first off the bat, I thought, good job. You just got yourself a sac fly and got a run home. Then I saw the ball carry and thought, you may have gotten yourself a 3-run bomb, but it just didn't quite carry enough. Yet he did his job. He get the ball deep into the outfield to the right side. Boy, Powell having a terrific day at the plate. Another run batted in for him, and now the Indians beginning to separate themselves and have a chance to really blow this open if they can put another couple of runs on the board.
This is Brett Coker at the plate now. Runners on the corner, Justin Medlin. Actually, my point of view is blocked by, of course, I know those watching or listening can't see what I'm looking at, but there's a pole that separates some windows in front of me, so I had to look around it. When I look at second, I don't see Powell standing there. I'm like, did he just leave the ballpark? I don't know what happened. And then longest single in the history of baseball. Snap throw down to first is not in time. A good job by the first baseman to climb the ladder and go catch that one. If that one gets away in the infield, Justin Medlin could have made it home easy. Justin actually looked up here and gave me a wink. He's feeling good right now.
Yeah, I would say that he understands kind of where he is right now and how well he's done the last couple of innings on the mound. And this is what you start to see from the Indians, starting to time up Kessinger a little bit more. Balls are starting to be hit a little bit harder. They're not fooled as much by pitch selection. So, right now they've got a really good feel, I think, for what Kessinger's doing on the mound.
So Coker with the 0-1 count. Looks at that one, missing outside. 1-1 is the count. 6-3 is your score. The Indians have put 2 runs on the board so far here in the top of the 7th. They've got 10 hits. Runners on the corner. Medlin would love to score this run here and help his own cause to try to secure this Game 1 victory. That pitch missing high for a ball. And 2-1 now goes the count here on Coker. Coker 1 for 2 on the day with a walk. He did single back in the second, but was left stranded. So the pitch coming. This one popped up. Just not being too patient that time by Coker. A good pitch, though. Got him to fly out to second for the second out of the inning. And now this is going to send up Russell Bunch. And Bunch is 0 for 2 with the walk. And so now Russell going to try to come in with a clutch situation here with 2 outs and runners on the corners for the Indians.
Yeah, it's a really good pitch there by Kessinger. Just jammed Coker on the inside and got him to pop up.
Bunch takes a look at that pitch across for a strike. Russell 0 for 2 with the walk. Was left stranded back in the 6th inning. Wanting to try to get a 2-out hit here. That pitch missing outside. 1-1 is the count. It says 2-1 on the scoreboard. So 2-1 is the count with 2 outs here to Bunch. Snap throw over to first, not in time. Kind of just a little bit of a lazy throw.
A little surprised, again, they're throwing so much at Austin Powell. Last time he was on base, they threw over a lot when Hitchcock was on the mound. Now with Kessinger, I don't think you're going to see a hit and run here in this situation. So I don't necessarily know the infatuation with throwing over, but if you're ICC, maybe you get lucky and they throw it away.
I would say that's the only thing you can hope in that situation is because he's not taking a very big lead, and every time he gets back, it's really with no issues. So if you're an ICC fan, you would love to see it be thrown away.
Yeah, the move to first is just as basic as it gets.
So catcher will come out and set up the signs here. 1-2 is the count to Russell Bunch. Russell's due. 0 for 2 with the walk. Russell would love to come up with a clutch 2-out hit here to help extend this lead. 6-3, ICC leads it top of the 7th. Game 1 scheduled for 9 here in Boonville. Runner goes, ball in the dirt. It gets away, and Medlin is going to be home. Well, a clutch situation there as Medlin scores on the wild pitch. And, Jeremy, the reason why that is big is because now, late in the game, it's a 4-run game, all you can do is tie it up with a grand slam.
Yeah, grand slam only ties you. And, well, we talked about an error in this inning, a wild pitch right there. And, well, you combine that with the way the Indians have hit the ball, and no wonder they've put 3 on the board here. So you're looking at 6 runs in the last 3 innings for ICC when they only had 1 through the first 4. The approach has been much better. Everything coming into play, and now you've still got Powell in scoring position. If Bunch is able to get a pitch, he can drive.
So Bunch will dig in. 2-2 is the count here for the sophomore out of Itawamba AHS. Bunch takes that pitch, and 3-2 now goes the count. So 3-2 is the count. 2 outs, a runner at second. Bunch trying to protect the plate here and extend this inning. So waiting the pitch. Bunch pops this one up. It's going to drift foul and will get out of play. Caleb Whittle is on deck here for the Indians. He reached on a fielder's choice error. In his first at-bat, he replaced Lane Domino, who actually homered in his first at-bat, but was shaken up after colliding out there in right center with the wall, trying to chase down a pitch. So now Bunch with the foul ball, keeping the at-bat alive here. 3-2 is the count. 2 outs. Runner at second. 7-3 is your score. ICC with the lead. We're in the top of the 7th. Bunch swings and misses. A good fastball that time and could not catch up with it, but the Indians get 3 runs on 3 hits and an error. And a big-time strikeout there. We're going to the 7th inning stretch, but we'll keep it here and kind of look back at some of the Sonic scoring recap. And for the Indians, they got a solo home run in the 3rd inning. That was off the bat of Lane Domino. Then Northeast answered with 3 runs in the bottom half of the inning. Sowell started off with a single. Stanton walked. It was a sacrifice bunt by Braxton Miller. Then a 2-run double for Haynes Hansford. And then Samaniego doubled after a ground rule double on the play that we talked about Lane Domino getting shaken up on. And it was 3-1 Tigers. ICC came back and tied it up on a 2-run home run by LeBryant Sedale, who, by the way, is a member of the Tupelo 49er team. My boy Mac texted me in and said, hey, Gore, give my Tupelo 49ers a shout-out. So there you go, Mac. It was a big-time shot there from LeBryant Sedale to tie us up at 2. And the Indians scored 1 in the 5th, and that was... Well, no, that was in the 6th. There it is. It was a double, and Austin Powell came around to score. Then the Indians get 3 runs in the previous inning. It was a 1-out single by Jackson Lancaster, an error that put the Bryant Sedale on. An RBI single for Justin Medlin, and Medlin eventually came around to score on a wild pitch, and Austin Powell also had a RBI single in that inning. So, Jeremy, just your thoughts as we head to the stretch now. Indians lead at 7-3, and we do have a new pitcher in the game for ICC. This is going to be number 10, Jackson Lancaster, coming in. So Lancaster coming in for the first time today. So that means we have a new center fielder. That's actually going to be Caleb Little moving over to center. And then Braden Ellis will head out to right field for the Indians. So that is going to be a Coca-Cola defensive lineup change here for ICC.
Look at the numbers on Lancaster this season. 11 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 7 walks, 22 strikeouts, a 3.27 ERA. So pretty good arm to put in the contest. You stay with the left-hander as well, so Northeast has to hit against that. You look at the part of the lineup he's facing, though. We're talking about 2, 3, 4. This is really the heart of the lineup for the Tigers. He's going to see Samaniego and Lipsy. Got a 4-run lead, which is big, but got to come in and throw strikes and be able to get ahead of some of those hitters. He's going to get a chance early to face the best the Tigers have to offer.
They're going to say it hit him. So one pitch and the runner gets on here as he takes one for the team, does Braxton Miller. So now the Tigers, as you said, trying to get something brewing here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And this is going to be Hayes Hansford, and he has been trouble. He's 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. He did strike out to end the first, but since then he's been lights out.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. And when you face a guy we talked about here and got a couple of doubles off of Medlin today.
And a nice pitch there from Lancaster in for a strike at the knees. So Lancaster coming in after 6 quality innings of work out of Justin Medlin. He did leave with a 4-run lead, so he's still in line for the win if the Indians can find a way to hold on. Change up falls off the table, a little off speed that time as goes for a ball. So 1-1 now is the count. No outs and a runner over at first base. Hansford playing in right field. Waits the pitch here. This one popped up, and it's going to get out of play over the ICC dugout. Oh, by the way, speaking of foul balls, we do want to remind you of the ICC Alumni Foundation, or Alumni Affairs and Foundation. Find out how you can contribute to Itawamba Community College by visiting iccms.edu. That's iccms.edu. So 1-2 now is the count here to Hansford. Pitch coming and swung on and missed for strike 3.
Well, that's a gigantic strikeout there of Hayes Hansford. As we talked about, a couple of doubles today, 2 RBIs that he has driven in. And, boy, that's a huge strikeout there if you're Lancaster. Disappointing. You give up an HBP on the first pitch of the inning. But now you come back with a strikeout. This is the best hitter that Northeast has, and Tyler Samaniego hitting over 400's already driven in a run today, leads the team in that category. Gotten a couple of huge outs when he's been at the plate. Need to bear down and see if you can get a pitch to roll over on, maybe try to get a double play. Doesn't run well because of that ankle injury. But, boy, you don't want to fall behind and give him something he can hit because he can really drive it.
So this is Samaniego, as you mentioned. He doubled back in the third, grounded out to second, and also grounded out to third. Oh, could not catch up with the fastball there. And I tell you what, Jeremy, if I swung that hard at the ball, I'd be hurting the back for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was a big-time swing by Samaniego. Just came up empty. Lancaster elevating the fastball just a bit. Samaniego couldn't lay off.
So the scoreboard says 0-1 is the count. Reaches down to get that one. Nice location on that pitch and a little off speed, way ahead of that one.
That was a terrific pitch. That was really, really good because you just come with the first pitch on the fastball and you get him upstairs. And he's a little bit late on it. Now you come back. You think he's going to get another fastball, and you come back and try to slow his bat down. He gets out in front. Really well done by Lancaster.
And there's another Renaissance Bank strikeout by Jackson Lancaster. Back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, RenaissanceBank.com, member FDIC.
Elevated the fastball again, just challenged Samaniego for 3 pitches, and Lancaster able to dominate on the mound there. It's a really, really big strikeout. 2 big strikeouts for Lancaster since entering.
So now Lancaster will set to deliver. This pitch popped up, back and out of play, going towards the van. And just missing it. I know it's not mine, so Tim Center, if you're watching back in Fulton, don't worry. I parked far enough away that, knock on wood, it doesn't get hit. Because as soon as I start saying that, then the next one's going to be a foul ball that's going to jump the bus and center my windshield. Instead, a fastball. Man, Lancaster.
Got some pop on it.
Yeah.
He is really coming in. His velocity's good. His command has been really good as well. Had 1 pitch get away from him, but struck out 2 of the 3 best hitters in this Northeast lineup and a chance to strike out all 3 of them.
Fastball again. This one missing. 2-2 now is the count. So Lancaster coming in with some gas. Has a 2-2 count here on Anthony Lipsy. Fouls this one back. Good job finding a piece of that one. Fouls it back to keep the at-bat alive here. 2-2, 2 outs. There is a runner over at first. ICC leading it 7-3. Here in the bottom of the 7th, this game is scheduled for 9 innings. So Lancaster trying to make quick work of the Tigers here in the bottom half of the 7th. See if they can get the bats back to the plate after scoring 3 runs in the top half of the inning. So Lancaster getting set to deliver. The off-speed breaking pitch misses the zone, and now 2-2 is the count.
Outfield still bunched for the Indians. Pretty big gap in right center. Of course, a lot of room down that right field line if Lipsy goes the other way.
Instead, Lipsy swings, ticks it, but is held on to for another Renaissance Bank strikeout. 3 straight Renaissance Bank strikeouts after hitting the leadoff batter. And Jeremy, that was just impressive by Lancaster, fresh out of center field.
Exactly what you want out of your bullpen guys. Come in, throw strikes. Got all 3 of the best hitters in this lineup to go down swinging. Terrific job by Jackson Lancaster.
Let's take a break and hear more from our sponsors. You're listening to ICC Baseball on 95.1 The Farm, your hometown country station, as well as watching live here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel. Back with more right after this. Indians lead it 7-3 after 7 complete.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Itawamba Community College is now offering 3-day weekends. You can be one of the first to take advantage of a compact course schedule with a majority of classes offered Monday through Thursday. Let us customize your education to fit your needs. Become a part of the ICC family and apply today at apply.iccms.edu. ICC, the best start here.
Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a new pitcher in the game here for the Tigers. This is going to be number 7, Nick Wilcher. And Jeremy, I know you've got some stats on him, so tell us more about Nick.
Wilcher making his 8th appearance of the season. He's got a 2-4 record, 32 innings pitched, 44 hits, 28 runs, 20 earned, 11 walks, 34 strikeouts, averaging 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's given up 4 home runs on the season and carries a 5.63 ERA. As we talked about, this Northeast bullpen has struggled this season. They've given up now. The pitching staff as a whole has given up 23 home runs this season, counting the 2 today, but coming in with a 5.44 ERA, a handful of guys with some really high ERAs, including Chase Kessinger, who had a 9 ERA before entering in the last inning. So ICC's taking advantage of that so far. A chance to do it again with Wilcher here in the 8th.
So it's going to be Caleb Whittle leading us off here in the 8th. It would be the 8-9-1 batters due up. Domino, Palmer, and Krieger. So Caleb coming in to replace Domino in the lineup. Shows butt. Misses it for a strike. Let's try to just see if they can sneak him on. And once again, you see, Jeremy, they were thinking about going down that first base line to put an issue over there on the injured first baseman. Breaking pitch missing for a ball. 1-1 now is the count.
Yeah, Samaniego playing back on it. So I think the better option, you're right, is to try to push that bunt up the first baseline, then try to drag it to third baseline.
Swing and a miss that time as Whittle couldn't find it. 1-2 goes the count here as Whittle leading us off. Nobody on and no outs. He reached on a fielder's choice error that allowed a run to score. And this fly ball left side, and it's got a chance back to the wall, and no, to the warning track. Thought it was gone as it traveled pretty well. Just needed a little bit more oomph into it that time, Jeremy.
Yeah, none of these have really been wind-aided whatsoever, but the ball does seem to be carrying once it gets deep into the outfield. Whittle just a tad underneath it. I thought it was going to be out, but regardless, I wasn't quite sure that it was going to be caught out there. Nice job to run that down. But another quality at bat by the Indians, and we've seen a lot of that the last 3 innings.
New batter at the plate now for the Indians, as this is Braden Ellis. And Jeremy, I know you got some of those stats there in front of you. These stats being brought to you by the Sonic of Fulton.
Yeah, I'll give you a stat out of that pitch right there. Ellis hitting 300 on the year, 452 on base percentage, no home runs, 8 runs batted in.
Swung on a miss there for strike 3, so Ellis comes in, sees 3 pitches, and heads to the bench.
From right up the road in Saltillo, a couple of players on this Northeast squad. Ripley, Saltillo, that Northeast let out of the area, if you will.
So now we go back to the top of the lineup here, and this is going to be Kyle Krieger. Krieger 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Swings on the first pitch he sees, and this is trouble. It's going to go for a base hit. Nicely done that time by Kyle. Just sees the first pitch. He doesn't waste a lot of time at the plate, Jeremy. He is a very aggressive batter.
He is, and normally you want your leadoff hitter to maybe have some patience and try to take a lot of walks. And he came into today 15 walks drawn on the season, which is right around second, third, maybe fourth on the team as you look through these numbers. Sometimes, though, as a leadoff guy, the goal obviously is just to get on base. Got a 381 on base percentage, pretty solid. But he's not going to be the old-school leadoff guy that's definitely going to take the first pitch of every at-bat and definitely going to try to get it to a full count.
Yeah, so that first pitch now to Jackson Lancaster was fouled off. And it's 0-1 is the count here to Jackson. 2 outs, runner over at first base in Kyle Krieger. Ball in the dirt, blocked up nicely that time. Krieger will head back to first. 7-3 is your score. ICC, number 4 team in the country, leading Northeast. We're in the top of the 8th inning. This game scheduled for 9. So the Indians up 7-3 in this one. Lancaster, just a little bit confused on that one. Couldn't find the pitch that tailed away from him. A little off speed.
Good breaking pitch there by Wilcher. Really good frame out there. From the left side, throws fairly hard, but has also got good command of his off speed, and you saw it on display there.
Lancaster holds off on that one, takes it for a ball, evens the count now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner over at first base, that's Kyle Krieger, who singled out to right field. So awaiting the 2-2 pitch here. And that one missing low. So nice job by Lancaster to have a pretty good eye and battle back and force the count to go full. So 3-2 is the count. Runner will be in motion here on the pitch. 2 outs. Lancaster digging in, trying to spark the rally here, and they're going to throw over. It's kind of an awkward motion over to first.
Those lefties get away with murder over there. That's a right-handed pitcher. That's a ball for sure. Lefties, you try to stay that 45-degree angle, and you're right. Wilcher, almost like he decided the very last minute to throw to first.
So the runner does go, and there's strike 3. Lancaster looks back in disbelief on that one. So a big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout to get out of the inning there for Wilcher, the second strikeout of the inning, as the Indians get no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. ICC with a 7-3 lead. We're going to hear from Little Caesars and more. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Celebrate outrageous amounts of toppings with Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest. With the most cheese and now with the most toppings at the nation's best price. Create your favorite pizza starting at $6. Pay, then express pickup at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning, Jackson Lancaster still on the hill here for ICC. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 batters scheduled up here for the Tigers. So this is going to be Carter Roach starting us off, and Roach has been pretty good today, Jeremy. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles, a stolen base. He did advance on a balk, but was left stranded in the 6th, and he's also struck out to end the 3rd. So Roach will start off the Tigers. Takes that pitch across for a strike, and Jeremy, you can tell by the way Lancaster's working. He's working with purpose, so he's feeling pretty good.
Yeah, in a rhythm right now. Those big 3 strikeouts against the 3 best hitters from Northeast in the last inning.
And that's just going to be a flare out to the right side. One of those, he just happened to get a piece of it, just enough of it to get over the head of the second baseman. And so a leadoff single, 3rd hit of the day for Carter Roach. You'll be able to see Carter in the box score tomorrow. David Wheeler here in Boonville covering today's games for the Daily Journal. We appreciate David and everyone out there at the Daily Journal for their coverage of ICC athletics all year long.
Roach hitting 180 to start the afternoon, 3 hits, and that average is climbing. But Lancaster's come in and done a good job. I think he's got a lot of confidence. Obviously, he's had a solid year in the field, at the plate, and on the mound. And he's been given the baseball and told, go finish this thing up. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen down there. This is Lancaster's game to finish out and record these last 6 outs.
Of course, he is replacing Justin Medlin, who went 6 innings, so he is in line for the win here. Is that pitch missing for a ball?
Got Landon Wilkerson at the plate for Northeast. South Haven, Mississippi native, Lewisburg High School, 5'8", 175, just a freshman.
He's batting in place of Lipsy, who was 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. So getting to see the first action this afternoon here on Wilkerson.
Wilkerson, his first at-bat of the season.
Wow.
According to these stats that we have right in front of us.
Swings on this one, fouls it out of play, and the count now goes 1-2.
And if you're Lancaster, too, the frustrating thing is you didn't really place a beautifully thrown pitch over to Roach. He just kind of swung at it and got the barrel and enough of it and served it into right field. But Lancaster ahead 1-2, chance to really get a strikeout here and get back into rhythm.
So the pitch coming from Lancaster, that one drifting high. 2-2 now is the count. If you're going to miss, that's what you want to miss right there. See if you couldn't get him to chase one out of the zone. Good eye, though, by Wilkerson. Runner over at first base. That is Roach, who reached on his 3rd single of the day. It's Wilkerson at the plate with a 2-2 count. No outs and a runner over at first. Runner goes. There's a little hit and run action. It's great play over at first base by Justin Medlin, who is now covering the bag over at first, and went down, found it, and got the out. So that kind of worked as a sacrifice bunt in that situation with the hit and run.
You said that beautifully. Medlin made a heck of a play. It's a hit and run, as you described, and it would have worked beautifully. I thought off the bat maybe it was about to, and the Tigers were going to have runners at the corners with nobody down and something cooking. But Medlin able to get the glove down there on it, just trap it. Understand you're not going to be able to get Roach at second base. Take the sure out. So you're right, it works like a sacrifice bunt, but that's to ICC's advantage right now because you've got a 4-run lead. Tigers only have 5 outs left. They've got to get going with some base hits. And so if you're Lancaster, I know you got a runner in scoring position, but you're okay as you continue to face the bottom of this lineup.
This is Thomas Stevens now coming to the plate. He is 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout. He was one of 6 strikeout victims from Justin Medlin, who finished with 7 Renaissance Bank strikeouts in 6 innings of work. There's going to be a flare out to the right side, and it's going to drop for a hit, and it's going to score a run. Now it's actually going to get away, so this is going to go for extra bases. So that's going to be an RBI double off the bat of Thomas Stevens, and a big-time hit there as it scores the run, and now the Tigers trying to spark a little bit of a rally here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Stevens came in with only 10 runs batted in. There's number 11, right at a 300 hitter. He's really the only one from an average standpoint, if you just looked at the stats, that you would fear towards the bottom of this lineup. Of course, we've talked about it all day. That portion of the lineup has been really good. And you mentioned a good job by the Tigers, not going away. They've got 8 hits now, 2 off of Lancaster in this inning.
There's an off-speed pitch that hangs up a little bit high that time for a ball. This is Simon Sowles. He is
Simmons Sowell.
Simmons. I was trying to say
there
Simon Says. Simmons Sowell. He's 1 for 1 with a pair of walks and a run, scoring it on that single.
On your all-name team.
Yes. You know who is the, hands down best name of the year?
Who?
Kid from Southwest named Paco Bello.
Paco Bello?
Yes. That's
makes me want a taco.
Yes, most definitely. So 2-0 is the count. And that one missing high. So now Lancaster, after a very good start in the 7th, struggling here in the bottom of the 8th. He's already given up 1 run. There is a runner at second base now. Only 1 out in the inning. And Sowell at the plate.
Danger of bringing the tying run, I should say, to the plate if you can't get Sowell here.
And he walked him. So 4 straight pitches. And for the 3rd time today, Sowell will get the free pass. And we go back to the top of the lineup. And Jeremy, if you're the Tigers, this is kind of where you want to be in this situation. If they can find a way to get some hits here. But Coach Collier wants to come out and talk to Lancaster. So the stroll to the mound. And we're going to take a break and hear from Coke and be back with more right after this.
My burger goes best with mustard.
Ketchup and mustard.
Grass-fed beef. No, corn-fed. On the grill.
Now, flat top.
Iceberg lettuce.
Nah, arugula.
Jalapeno.
No way. Avocados, dude.
Medium rare. Gotta be well done. Brioche.
Sesame seeds.
American cheese.
Cheddar.
Can I have a turkey burger? What? Turkey's for Thanksgiving, man. I like my burger with the Coke.
I'll agree to that. Strictly with the Coke.
Only with the Coke.
Coke and a burger. Come on.
All right.
That's where you get the flavor.
All right, no change made here for the Indians as Coach Collier wants to just kind of come out and get everybody refocused. And Jackson Lancaster with 1 out, runners over at first and second. Jeremy, we haven't seen a Little Caesars double play today, but the Indians would love to see one here, as this is going to be Bryce Stanton coming up. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout, and he did score a run, part of that 3-run 3rd inning for the Tigers.
Yeah, now would be the time for it if you can roll it, but Lancaster just got to get back to throwing strikes and got a break there. That pitch was out of the zone, but Stanton, for some reason, decided to go after it after 4 out of the zone to Sowell. So a break there for ICC.
So that first pitch swung on a miss for a strike. 0-1 is the count. 1 out here to Stanton. And then a nice job going downstairs and getting him to chase one low in the zone again. 0-2, quickly ahead in the count here is Lancaster.
Good breaking pitch. And of course, we saw Coach Collier do this with Medlin, just calm him down. He pitched better. See if it works with Lancaster. But that breaking ball really well done on the 0-1.
And that ball in the dirt did not go as they talk it over, and he just did not go. Some of the ICC fans saying yes, but sorry, he didn't.
No, barely took the bat off his shoulder. But a good pitch nonetheless on the 1-2. But you don't want to waste one here. You need to attack and try to make this an out pitch. Don't just try to waste it because you don't want to get to 2-2.
And there it is. Another Renaissance Bank strikeout. Jeremy, you called it. Get after him. And for the 2nd straight time, Bryce Stanton goes down on strikes. That is the 4th Renaissance Bank strikeout for Jackson Lancaster.
Well, sometimes you see pitchers do that. They get it to 0-2. They throw a waste pitch that's way out of the strike zone, no chance. Then they try to come out with a 1-2 that's maybe not a strike, and you're trying to get the batter to chase. And if he lays off, all of a sudden it's 2-2, then you got to come with something. Good job there by Lancaster to attack on the 1-2 and make sure you go after the hitter at that point.
This is Braxton Miller, who was hit by a pitch on Lancaster's first pitch once he came in to start the 7th. Swung on and missed for a strike. 0-1 is the count. 2 outs. Runners on first and second. That pitch high for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. Lee Adams taking photos of today's games. You can see those photos on ICCimages.com. That's ICCimages.com. You can get the digital download for only $1. So 1-1 now is the count with 2 outs. And that pitch missing low, and Lancaster that time just looked like he was not pleased with his motions. He kind of followed back through, just maybe reminding himself of some mechanics.
Yeah, sometimes mechanics can leave you adrenaline like this. First days we talked about where it's extremely hot.
This pitch is going to be fouled back, and now the count goes 2-1.
Oh, now this is where if you're Lancaster, you got a 2-2 count. You want to come right at him again. You're thinking strikeout. Obviously, you'll take the out in any way you can get it, but you got to make the pitch here with the strikeout in mind and keep those runners at bay and protect this 3-run lead.
So the 2-2 pitch coming. Grounder. Second baseman is going to get it. Krieger throws it over in time, and a nice ground ball to end the inning there, 4-3 for those of you that may be scoring at home. We've played 8. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We'll come back with the top of the ninth. The Indians trying to pick up some insurance runs here. They lead at 7-4 here in Game 1. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Cagle of Cagle Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Cagle Eye Center in Fulton.
The newly formed Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi wants to make sure you are receiving the best orthopedic care possible. Our staff of 7 experienced, board-certified surgeons specialize in a specific area of the body and can treat you with the newest and latest technology available to fast-track your road to recovery. Call us for same-day appointments at 662-377-BONE and come see us at Gloucester Creek Village in Tupelo. At the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our specialty is you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 7-4 is your score as we go to the top of the ninth inning. New pitcher in the game here for the Tigers is Tyler Samaniego. He's moving from first to pitcher, and it looks like Hunter Lockhart is going over to first base. So, Jeremy, tell us about some of those Sonic stats on Samaniego.
Samaniego making his 4th appearance of the season. Only 2 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. So some good numbers, even though only 2 2/3. He's going to be asked to keep this ICC lineup where it is and give his team a chance in the bottom of the ninth. Samaniego, the leading hitter for the Tigers, one of those due up in the bottom of the ninth as they had a chance with the tying run at the plate to make this a little more interesting, put some pressure on the Indians, but Jackson Lancaster does a great job to get out of it. Now, if you're the Indians, Adam, you want to get some guys on base. You want to maybe see if you can get into that bullpen even more, but especially put up another run or two and add the insurance, because it does feel like Lancaster is going to be the guy to try to finish it. Although, to your point earlier, Kyle Krieger is down there throwing in that Indians bullpen.
Yeah, they want to have him ready to go just in case he is needed playing second base, so he's going to take this opportunity here to come up and take some warm-up toss. Of course, the Indians would love for him to have to stop and come to bat at some point, because that means they would have sent 7 other guys to the plate.
Yeah, at that point, I don't think you would see him on the mound in the ninth. They would save him for the nightcap should that come to fruition. But Samaniego, good frame out there. Does have that right ankle injury that has been on display a couple of times this afternoon. See if Indians can solve him. The one thing ICC has done, they've gotten into that Northeast bullpen just a bit. It's not a great one, but they've forced the Tigers to throw more arms than perhaps they wanted.
That pitch across, fastball for a strike to LeBryant Sedale. Sedale is 1 for 4. He's had a 2-run home run in the 5th. He reached on an error and scored in the 7th. Flew out to center field and did strike out looking to end the 1st. And that pitch across for a strike. And Samaniego, leaving no doubt, just a good fastball, then all speed, both of them for strikes.
Yeah, just pump them in there, try to get ahead of the hitters.
So waiting the pitch here. Sedale looks at that one. Not a bad spot to miss if you couldn't get Sedale to chase it. A wind that has not been blowing all day today, and maybe to the Tigers' benefit, it's now blowing pretty good out dead center. So this pitch coming, and grounder, third baseman, and it's off his shoulder. So that's going to be a second time that Sedale has got on the error on the third baseman. So a solid way to start the inning there. And just that time, unfortunately for, I believe that was number 19. Yes, no.
It's Landon Wilkerson, who got that at bat. Yeah. He replacing Ramsey Ivy, who was the starting third baseman. Ivy with an error over there earlier. So you've got, they're going to call that a hit. Generous, if you will, if you're LeBryant Sedale.
Well, Sedale, LB will take it.
We'll
change ours.
We'll have some words with Blake Long when this is over.
So now they're referring.
12th hit of the day for the Indians. Regardless if you're ICC, you get somebody on base to lead off this inning. If you're San Diego, you do your job. You induce a ground ball. But, boy, put more pressure on San Diego and the Tigers.
That pitch across as this is Justin Medlin at the plate. So Medlin, who did get the start here in game one, is in line for the win if he can find a way to, or the Indians can find a way to hang on to this one. As Medlin looks at that one, it's at the knees for a strike. So a good job by San Diego. He's filling up that strike zone.
He's thrown 6 pitches. All of them have been strikes at this point. He got ahead 0-2 to Siddell and now 0-2 to Medlin. Defense didn't help him out last time.
And Medlin fouls this one back to keep the at-bat alive here.
Oh, you can see San Diego just trying to push off, wincing in pain, and spun around the back of the mound after Medlin fouled that one off.
You got to give your cap off to San Diego, playing over there at first base, battling through this ankle injury. Sometimes you just got to do that in this JUCO league. Sometimes you just got to suck it up and go.
You do, and he's still got an RBI, 40th on the season. Extends his lead to lead the team, I should say, in that category. Another really good pitch.
And that one called a ball. 2-2 now is the count here on Justin Medlin. Justin, the Middle Tennessee signee, now playing first base. He was the pitcher/DH. And then after the Indians made some defensive moves, now playing over at first base. Made a nice play over at first base defensively in the in the previous inning.
Yeah, stopped what could have been a first and third situation for the Tigers on the hit and run.
Medlin looks at that pitch. It gets away. LB would not try to get over to second as it didn't get far enough away. And now the count goes 3-2 here on Justin Medlin.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, if you're San Diego, you're in danger of having first and second, nobody down as the lineup gets deeper. And Austin Powell, who's had a terrific afternoon on deck, would have an RBI opportunity. Indians trying to get that run back that Tigers scored in the bottom of the 8th and get that 4-run margin back.
That pitch over, just a little soft toss to LB, and stands back without any issues. And the count is full at 3-2 here to Justin Medlin. This is where you got to be careful. If you miss a pitch here, Medlin can make you pay. So the pitch coming. And Medlin, that one a little chin music that time, and he'll head down to first.
Well, San Diego, I think, frustrated by that 0-2 pitch, or 1-2 pitch, that was not called a strike, and lost his command and issues that walk. And boy, this is the last hitter I think you'd want to see if you're Northeast at the plate. Powell has been terrific this afternoon, couple of hits, and he's got an RBI opportunity. And this is what we talked about if you're the Indians. You want to put some pressure on Northeast again, get that run back and get your 4-run cushion again, but also see if you can extend it and put it out of play so that you don't have to see Krieger come in and close it in the 9th.
So Austin Powell at the plate. Shows bunt, fouls it back for strikes, and the Indians want to try to play a little small ball there.
A little surprised. I mean, he's hitting 370, couple of hits today. I mean, I get it. You want to get some runs late, but
he didn't show it till late, so it might have been a little surprise.
Yeah, it'd be hard for me
play.
not to let him swing away here.
And so Powell will dig back in. 0-1 is the count. Man, this is just a dead atmosphere compared to the way it was earlier in the game. So as I say that, then somebody finally yells. 7-4 is your score. Stands back and takes that one for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. We're in the top of the 9th. ICC leading at 7-4. Trying to tack on some insurance runs here. And, of course, when we talk about those insurance runs, we talk about your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. For all your insurance needs, whether it be home, auto, or life, stop by and see Joey there on South Adams Street in Fulton. Shows bunt, lays it down, and there's only going to be one play, and that's going to work for a sacrifice bunt. And, of course, when we talk about those sacrifice bunts, we talk about the ICC Baptist Student Union, Brother Chris Burrows and company, doing a great job out there as they remind us of the ultimate sacrifice paid for our sins. They meet Monday nights at 7:07, Wednesdays at lunch. All they ask is bring $2 and a friend, and don't forget the $2 for your friend. Treat them to lunch and worship at the ICC BSU. So runners now on second and third. And this is going to be Coker coming to the plate.
Of course, the Tigers are going to bring the infield in, try to cut down the run at home. And so you get that sacrifice there. Powell does his job. Only the second time all year he has gotten a sacrifice bunt. Of course, you hit 370. You're not going to be asked to bunt a lot. That average only going to climb after his 2-hit day.
As this pitch fouled back. And 1-1 now is the count.
But this is the old adage is that every time you bring the infield in, you can add 100 points to the average. Well, Coker's hitting 316, so you turn a 316 hitter into a 416 hitter. And if you get a pitch to hit, if you're Coker, really hammer it. Obviously going to be much tougher for the infield to be able to react to it. Outfield's still playing pretty deep. Thought we might see them come in a bit. But they're still pretty deep in the same alignment where they're basically bunching the gaps in left and right center.
Yeah, if he can get something to the right side and closer to the line, that's going to easily score 2.
Yeah, I think a base hit regardless. I mean, you and I can see it. Obviously, our viewers can see it. Center field, left field, slow bouncer to right field is going to score both runs as well. But certainly, even if you hit a ball hard to center or left, I think you get both runners in.
So a big-time situation here. 1-2 is the count to Coker. There's a hard hit ground ball. It's going to get through the middle. 1 run will score and 2 runs will score, and that's going to go for extra bases. And he'll slide in safely. And a clutch hit there. And Jeremy, you called it. There's a hit right back up the middle. And the Indians now lead it 9-4.
Boy, terrific piece of hitting there by Coker. 2 RBIs on the season, now 19, 13 hits on the afternoon. Not only do you get the run back, you surrendered in the bottom half, you add one of it as well. So you got that big 5-run cushion. You're not done yet, but a terrific piece of hitting there by Coker. Did a good job to get the fastball, didn't try to do too much with it, just hit it right back up the box and went right past the diving Carter Roach at second base. And once that happened, you knew both runners were going to come in to score. And this has been one of the biggest reasons why the Indians have had such success this season and why they're ranked so high, because they've been able to get those timely hits.
So a 2-out double there off the bat of Coker makes it 9-4 now here in the top of the 9th inning. And this will be Russell Bunch. Russell is 0 for 3 with the walk. He struck out to end the 7th. So Russell looking for a little redemption at this at-bat, especially with the runner in scoring position here. ICC leads it now by 5. As Bunch stands in and takes that pitch high for a ball. Remind you to stay tuned. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll have the Renaissance Bank post-game report coming your way. We'll take a look at name our Sonic star of the game, take a look at some Little Caesars stats, and have Jeremy's breakdown of Game 1 here between the Tigers and the Indians at the conclusion of this one. Bunch waiting the pitch. That one drifts high for a ball. 2-0 now is the count here on the third baseman, Bunch. So 2 balls, no strikes, and 1 out. Runner at second base. That is Brett Coker, who just doubled in a pair of runs for the Indians. For the second half of this game has been big for the Indians. They scored 2 in the 5th. So that pitch across for a strike. 1 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th. Didn't get anything in the 8th, and then so far has added 2 in the 9th. So, Jeremy, this game really kind of took on a whole different outlook for the Indians as the game progressed.
Yeah, it did. And, of course, we talk about, Jake Krista, the starter for the Tigers, going down. He gave up that home run to Lane Domino and then, went down with a knee injury, after 2 2/3.
And Bunch takes that one for a strike, and he doesn't like the call there as he kind of turns around and looks at Rick. And, there's some of those days, Jeremy, when you come to the ballpark and when you're having a bad day, those type pitches get called a strike. When you're having a good day, they're called a ball, and that's just the case for Russell on that one.
It is, and he's struggled a bit today. He's been on base a couple of times, though. And you just want him to have a productive at-bat here for the Indians. Unfortunately, goes down swinging there. But, we talk about the Indians in terms, to your point about, the second half of the game. And it took them a while to get adjusted, to the change in pitching. You go from Krista, who's more of a velocity guy, to then Dylan Hitchcock, who's a shorter left-hander who throws with a little more off-speed. And finally they got going just a little bit. Then they were able to get some runs off of Chase Kessinger. And then now off of Samaniego here. But it's a diverse lineup in terms of guys can do a lot of different things. We've seen the long ball. We've seen the small ball with the bunt by Austin Powell to set up the 2 RBI double. And we've seen guys really be able to work the gaps as well, go down the lines. It's been a really complete performance offensively for the Indians.
So that pitch to Caleb Whittle goes for a strike. This is Samaniego still on the hill here That one in there for a strike as well. And now it's 0-2. San Diego's done a good job filling up the zone in this inning. It's just the problem is ICC's done a pretty good job of hitting the ball as well.
They have. Of course, the error to lead off the inning was obviously a killer. I mean, well, call it a hit. You and I would probably say it's an error, but regardless, a play that we feel should have been made.
Yes.
If that is made, then you never know how the trajectory of the inning changes. But, the Indians have taken advantage of that. You look up, there are 2 errors for Northeast. They've also got a wild pitch. The walks have been an issue as well. And the Indians also have 13 hits.
So 1-2 is the count here to Whittle. And he looks at strike 3, and Whittle knew it as he started walking away from the plate. So a nice job there by San Diego to come back and get back-to-back Renaissance Bank strikeouts to end the inning. So the Indians take a 9-4 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll take a break and see if the Indians can close this one out as Jackson Lancaster returns to the hill. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Crunchy Fritos, warm chili, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents. It's like real comfort food.
Trying to get out of my comfort zone, and these guys keep pulling me back in. Pulling me back in!
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime. Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves. A Fritos chili pie. Juicy Junior Burger. Or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
ICC leading it by the score of 9-4. And there's another walk, so back-to-back walks to start the inning here.
That may be it for Lancaster, and I think it will be.
Yep.
As Coach Collier comes out and makes the change.
Well, let's take a quick timeout here from Little Caesars, and we'll come back and tell you about the new pitcher for the Indians. Tigers, though, trying to rally. Runners on first and second with no outs. Indians lead at 9-4 here in the bottom of the ninth.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say. It's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
And welcome back, everybody, as we do have that pitching change here. Kyle Krieger coming in to pitch for the Indians. Jeremy, I know you got some of those Sonic stats there on Kyle, so tell us more about Krieger.
Krieger making his 16th appearance on the season, 3-2 on the year, 2 saves, which leads the Indians in that category. 25 2/3 innings pitched, 30 hits, 11 runs, 9 earned, 8 walks, 24 strikeouts, giving up 1 home run, a 3.16 ERA, so a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is good, which is obviously what you're looking for at this point, and so that's certainly the number one goal is to make sure that you throw strikes, let your defense help you because you've got 2 on, nobody out. You've got a 5-run cushion. And so I don't think it's a surprise that we see Coach Collier come out. You hate to have to do this, though, because you bring your closer in with a 5-run lead, but I don't think you allow Northeast to get any momentum whatsoever because – a couple of hits, maybe another walk, and all of a sudden this thing starts to get hairy as we get deeper into the lineup.
So Krieger is now in pitching, so that means Braden Ellis is shifting to second base. Jackson Lancaster will head back out to center field, and that's going to send Caleb Whittle out to right field. That's been your defensive adjustments here, brought to you by the Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works. Is that pitch a fastball in there for a strike? Well, Kyle, he just loads them up and chumps them, Jeremy. He's just your old-school pitcher that's going to get up there and challenge your batters.
And that's what you need in the closer, somebody that comes in, throws strikes, does it with some velocity, puts pressure, and attacks the hitters.
And quickly heading the count now, 2-0 on Hunter Lockhart.
Lockhart only hitting 100 on the season. Only had now his 12th at-bat of the year.
So 0-2 is the count. No outs. Runners on first and second here for the Tigers. That pitch missing in the dirt. Couldn't get him to chase one. Good eye that time. Out of Lockhart.
Good job by Powell to also block that up.
See Peanut heading down to the bullpen. This pitch fouled back and will stay at 1-2. Lee, Peanut going to be the game 2 starter? Yes, so that's going to be the game 2 starter, Peanut. I figured that's who it was, but as soon as I say that, if I don't check with our baseball encyclopedia, Lee Adams, then I'd be wrong. End of story. 1-2 now is the count. Ground ball, foul ball coming to us right here in the ICC Alumni Affairs and Foundation broadcast booth. Dr. Jan Reed Bunch, Jim Ingram, Matilda Bushline doing a great job there in a very important role in the Alumni and Foundation. Raising money for the college. If you want to contribute to Itawamba Community College, find out how by visiting iccms.edu. And there's strike 3. Curveball. Got him looking. And a big-time Renaissance Bank strikeout there for the first out of the inning.
Boy, beautiful pitch there by Krieger. Throwing a lot of fastballs. You get to 2 strikes. You flip that curveball in there. And then all of a sudden, you get Lancaster looking fastball. You get him the breaking ball. He's not ready for it. It's a big first out here in the ninth.
We'll give you a Renaissance Bank scoreboard update after this pitch, and it looks like there's a football game breaking out between East Mississippi and Holmes. So that pitch is high for a ball. All right, game 1, East Mississippi and Holmes are tied 10-10 through 4 innings.
Boy, I'm glad that's not the game we have right now.
Yeah, Hines leads Gulf Coast 4-2. That's through 7. East Central leads Pearl River 3-1 through 6. And in softball, Northeast defeats East Mississippi 7-3. As that pitch goes for a strike. 1-1 now is the count with one out. Runners on first and second. Let's just go ahead and roll up one of these Little Caesars double play and call it a game. Krieger set to deliver. That one across for a strike. Krieger says, Gore, I just want to strike out 2 more. So 1-2 now is the count. This is Carter Roach at the plate. Sends a fly ball out to the right side. It's going to drift underneath it, and camp underneath it is Whittle for the out. And so now there's 2 away. So the Indians trying to hang on and pick up this win. That's a big out for Roach. He was 3 for 4 at that at bat. So
had a terrific afternoon. As we talked about, he'd been terrific. Came in hitting 180 and been on base almost every single time. And boy, now if you're Krieger, time to bear down here and get this last out. Keep those 2 runners where they are. No more drama.
So this is Wilkerson at the plate. That pitch going high for a ball. Well, the breeze is blowing and it's knocking either stuff off the roof or stuff off trees, and it's blowing onto the field. So if you see stuff flying in front of the camera, don't think you're going crazy here. Although Jeremy's sinuses are. As that pitch in there for a strike. 1-1 is the count.
Always and forever.
Yeah, this is not a fun time of year for anybody that has allergies.
This is going to be a walking billboard for Zyrtec.
There's a ground ball. Third baseman's going to step on it, and that's going to do it. ICC picks up the 9-4 win after no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. 9 runs, 13 hits, no errors, 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors is your final line in this one. We're going to take a break and come back with the Renaissance Bank postgame report. Right after this, ICC wins it 9-4. Back with more right after this.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Crunchy Fritos, warm chili, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents. It's like real comfort food.
Trying to get out of my comfort zone, and these guys keep pulling me back in. Pulling me back in!
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime. Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves. A Fritos chili pie. Juicy Junior Burger. Or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6. Pizza.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to the Renaissance Bank postgame report. ICC wins it 9-4 here in Game 1. Adam Gore, Jeremy Kennedy here on 95.1 The Farm, your hometown country station. Jeremy, your final thoughts on Game 1.
Well, really good job by ICC's bats. Eventually coming to life, as we talked about. They faced a lot of Northeast pitchers that were very different in style and also in size as well, and that can mess with you. We saw a little bit of that early. Of course, Jake Christa, the story of the game is what would have happened to the Tigers if he could have stayed healthy. Had that knee injury, was pitching really well and only giving up a solo home run in 2 2/3 before he got hurt. But I think you saw why that ICC team is ranked number 4 in the country. Just 1 through 9, they put so much pressure on you, banging out 13 hits, with 9 runs, and then got enough pitching. Of course, Justin Medlin, we talked about him at the beginning, wanting to come back and prove something, being from Ripley. 6 innings at 3 runs, a quality start metric, and the bullpen held up after that.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some Little Caesars stats, and let's start with Northeast. I've got Stanton going 0 for 4 on the day with a walk and a pair of strikeouts. Miller was 0 for 3. He had a sacrifice bunt and was hit by a pitch. He also struck out. Hayes Hansford, he was 2 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts, 2 doubles. He had 2 RBIs and a run scored. Stanton, by the way, had a run scored as well, and Hansford did walk. Samaniego, he was 1 for 4 with a walk, a double, and an RBI. Lipsy was 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts, and then it was number 30 who batted in his place. Lockhart was 0 for 1 with a strikeout as well. Carter Roach, he had a big day at the plate, come in batting not too well in the year. I think he said 180. 180, but that's going to skyrocket after his game today. He was 3 for 4 with a trio of singles, a stolen base, and a run scored. He did strike out. Ivy, he was 0 for 2, and he was hit by a pitch and struck out. And then it was Wilkerson who was 0 for 2 on the day. Thomas Stevens was 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI, and Sowell was 1 for 1 with a run scored and 3 walks. For the Indians, it was Kyle Krieger 1 for 4 on the day with a single. Jackson Lancaster was 2 for 5, did have a run scored and struck out twice. LeBryant Siddell reached, well, we thought he reached twice on an error. He was actually 2 for 5 on the day. He had a 2-run home run, obviously scored a run on that home run and also scored 1 on the single in that 2-run 9th inning. Justin Medlin was 1 for 4 on the day with an RBI single, a run scored on a wild pitch. He struck out once and walked as well, scored a run there. He was that 2nd run in the 9th. Austin Powell is going to be our Sonic star of the game as he just ripped the cover off the ball all day. 3 for 4. He had a double, a pair of singles, an RBI, and also had a sacrifice bunt. Brett Coker was 2 for 4 on the day. He had a 2-run double, a big 2-run double in the 9th. He also singled and walked. Russell Bunch on the day was 0 for 4 with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Lane Domino, who had to leave the game due to an injury, was 1 for 2 with a solo home run. And then it was Caleb Whittle who came in. He was 0 for 3. He did reach on a fielder's choice error. Hayden Palmer was 1 for 3 on the day with a double and a run scored. And for the Indians, then it was Braden Ellis. He was 0 for 1. Justin Medlin did get the win. It was not a save situation for Krieger, so Justin picks up the W there. So that's going to do it here for Game 1 between ICC and Northeast. For those that have been listening here on 95.1 The Farm, thank you for tuning in. You can catch Game 2 on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel, as we'll be back with that in about 20 minutes. So ICC wins Game 1 by the final score of 9-4. They improved to 25-5-1 on the year, 10-3 in division play. Northeast falls to 15-16, 5-10 inside the conference. So for Jeremy Kennedy, Lee Adams, Raphael Henry, I'm Adam Gore. We'll see you back in about 20 minutes for Game 2 right here on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Red Channel.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
You could say it's about the clubs. You could say it's about the ball. You could even say it's about the course or the weather. But what it really comes down to is consistency and hard work. Over and over and over again. At Renaissance, we understand consistency. We understand hard work. Most importantly, we understand you. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you.